Well, it was a game that was looking just like a good old-fashioned beating. Like a redheaded stepchild being beat by step. Sorry, random strays being thrown out there toward the Gingers. The Warriors trailed by 34 points in this one. And then something interesting happened in the fourth quarter. They started trying extra hard, and certain players were playing and certain players were not playing during that stretch. I'm going to guess you could figure out who I'm talking about. But in the end, the result was what you'd expect. Final score 121-110. Again, considering the Warriors were down by as much as 34 points, it could have been worse than an 11-point loss at home. I heard a new chant, by the way, at Chase Center. And why is the lighting so bad in my studio tonight? What's going on here? I can't figure this out. There was a new chant at Chase Center. I don't know if you folks heard that. It was a defense chant, but they added there's like an added drum element. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I've never heard that before. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Kristaps Porziņģis, a.k.a.
Pingus, Pingus!
Wait, what was that?
Pingus, Pingus!
Why couldn't I hear that? I feel like something got messed up with my settings. Hold on here. Let me see if I can get audio now.
Pingus, Pingus!
There we go. If you heard that already twice, forgive me for the doubling down. I could not hear that on my end through my headphones or speakers. We are functioning. We're going to talk about the Warriors. 121-110, the final. First game after the All-Star break. Tingus Pingus making his debut. Not the worst debut in the world, but when you look at the who his counterpart was with the Celtics tonight, a man named Nikola Vucevic, all I could think of is, couldn't you have gotten Vooch like a year ago for a bag of peanuts and then kept everything else? And you could have had like this decent big who is at Porzingis' level, but instead you traded away one of your last remaining prized young assets because there isn't really much left on this team that other teams would be interested in. And I guess that's what was going through my head is Vooch was there all along. The Warriors could have had Vooch pretty much anytime they wanted. And they sat pat. Why? Was the front office afraid Kerr wasn't going to play Vooch? Did Mike Dunleavy Jr. not think that Vooch was a decent fit? We'll talk about it. I already see our closer, Chardall, in the building tonight. Aren't you supposed to be calling it to 95.7 The Game, Chardall? I still haven't come up with a good coin phrase for you to drop on them to remind everyone who your loyalties truly lie with. We'll figure that part out. Let's have some fun tonight. It's Thursday. That means tomorrow's Friday. Very good possibility as you're watching this. It is Friday. Because the majority of the audience of this program is watching or listening to the recorded version. So happy Friday if that's the case for you. And let's talk about your Golden State Warriors. They dropped to 29-27. Kev F is saying bring Ryan on. Yeah, I'm glad you wrote that to me because I will send him the invite link right now. He's turned into a busy bee at Chase Center. It's been unfortunate for us. It's been unfortunate for the program. For him, I think he's actually making more money. I think he actually technically is tier 1 now. So good for Ryan Leong. But unfortunately for us, his success comes at our detriment because we used to have him literally every post-game show. Now we've had him like twice, I think, this season. I'm emailing Ryan Leon the link right now. Maybe he'll join us from Chase Center. Regardless, we're talking about it. Bubba's all pumped up. I'm sort of pumped up. I mean, the Warriors, I don't think this game was as close as the score indicates, but the best ever, I think, nailing this thing ultimately. They should just tank. They should just tank. That would be the best strategy here. Although if they do tank, one player I now know I don't want is the kid from Kansas. I'm starting to pay attention to college hoops since all of a sudden my Warriors might have a vested interest. I'm starting to pay a little more attention. Baba Ruski, what are you barking at? I'm starting to pay a little more attention to the college scene. And one kid I don't want is the Kansas kid. I don't want anything to do with that. Sorry, my pup's going out of control here. He's got Markelle Fultz, Ben Simmons vibes written all over him. Anybody that does not go out of their way to play basketball, anybody who's finding excuses not to play without providing specifics, huge red flags. And that's what the Kansas kid is all about, even though talent-wise, he could easily be one of the best players ever that this game's seen. But if the commitment isn't there, if the dedication isn't there, it's a huge question mark for me. I digress. Let's get into some action here today. Happy soon-to-be Friday. Thanks for joining the program. We're called the Golden Days, and we're powered by FanDuel. Let's go. Welcome to the program, coming to you live from the Golden Days studios in West Sonoma County, California. My name is Cyrus Saatsaz, your host for the evening. You can follow me on Threads and Instagram at DogWild. Over on Twitter, my handle is at SurfJournalist. The program on both platforms at Golden Days Pod. And as I mentioned a moment ago, we are powered by FanDuel. And the Warriors' next game, I'm going to my phone to check that out because I don't have that off memory. Who are the Warriors playing next? They have 2 days off. Tomorrow and Saturday are off days before Sunday it's an early ass game. Hold on, let me confirm this real quickly. It's so small, I gotta zoom in here. 12:30 tip. Why? Why are we tipping off? And what? Dude, apologies for my lighting. I don't know why that's a little screwy. It's been this way for like a day or two. I don't know what's going on. But why are the Warriors? And if you're listening to the podcast, it doesn't matter. Playing a 12:30 tip on Sunday. What is the deal with that? What, 12:30? I know why. It's because the game's nationally televised. We're likely going to be able to see it on ABC, I think. Let me confirm that real fast, because if that's not the reasoning for the Warriors' next game against Sunday, tipping off at 12:30 p.m., some folks call that the morning. Not me. That was not a Freudian slip, but I know people who love to sleep in. And the game will be on ABC, so that's why they're tipping early. Football's done. The NBA trying to capitalize on the elusive window that belongs to them and to the NHL right now among the major sports. But until then, they get tomorrow and Saturday off to review film, maybe get another practice in. But because that game is so far off, the line currently not available. What lines are available, there's a few of them that pertain directly to your Golden State Warriors. Let's see if what is this? FanDuel has Bill Simmons specials. All right, none of these pertain to the Warriors. Let's look at regular season wins. The FanDuel Sportsbook, by the way, available for anybody, whether or not you live in a state where it's legal to bet with FanDuel. Ooh, we got a new revision, though, in the wins total. It's hit a new season low. If you bet the under on your Golden State Warriors, especially at the peak, a couple months back, the Warriors OU hit a high for win totals of 51.5. It's now down. Last time we looked at it, it was 43.5. And right now, that line, courtesy of FanDuel, is down to 41.5. Meaning if the Warriors finish the year above 500 and you bet the over, you cash in at this point. If you bet the under, that means the Warriors would have to be a 500 team or worse in order for you to win that bet. And courtesy of FanDuel right now, again, the OU 41.5. And considering the Warriors right now are 29-27, just 2 games above 500, What that means is if the Warriors go 2 games below 500 for the remaining 26 games, you hit the under. If the Warriors are a game below 500 for the final 26 games, meaning if the Warriors go so there's 26 games left. If they finish those last 26 13-13 and you bet the over, you will win. If they go 12-14, the under would win. That's what that comes down to. And again, you could bet on that action, courtesy of FanDuel. Someone once asked me fairly recently from the audience, Cy, you live in California. How the hell are you placing bets using FanDuel when it sadly, unfortunately, is not available in your home state? And that's where it's nice to have friends in this world, including some who live in states where FanDuel is legal. A little PayPal transaction, little phone call or text. Hey, this Warriors +3 looking pretty good right now. You want a Warriors money line +25? It's looking pretty good. You want to just can I Venmo you that 50 burger in just a second? Drop a full dime for me, please. Anyways, that's how I do it. Again, FanDuel, our title sponsor. Thank you very much to them. Welcome to the program. A final score, 121-110, the final. Again, your Golden State Warriors dropping to 29-27. The FanDuel player of the game. Let's put it to a vote. Chat, live audience, I will leave this decision to you. Here are your nominees. Nominee number 1, Guy Santos. Played 30 minutes, 34 seconds tonight, 6 of 14 from the field, but 5 of 9 from deep. Added 6 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 17 points, tied for second on the team tonight. And maybe most importantly, or most impressively, a +8 in net rating. There were a handful of players tonight who actually finished in the positive in net rating tonight. Guy Santos being one of them, Al Horford being one of them, and then GP2, I thought had a great game tonight. He will be in contention as well. So Guy Santos is nominee number 1. Nominee number 2, DeAnthony Melton. Led the Golden State Warriors in scoring tonight. 18 points, 7 of 13 shooting, 2 of 6 shooting from beyond the arc. That is good enough. That is right at the Mendoza line of 33% shooting from deep. Translates to 50% shooting from 2. 3 boards, just 1 assist. Yeah. Had a steal, 18 points for DeAnthony Melton. Just the -3 in net rating. Not so bad. And nominee number 3 of 4 players. You're going to have 4 to choose from, all right? Nominee number 3, Gary Payton II. 19 minutes, 52 seconds of play. 14 points. 6 of 8 from the field. 2 of 4 from deep. 3 boards. 2 assists. 1 steal. A team-leading +15 in net rating. A catalyst for that comeback that the Warriors tried and failed to execute in the fourth quarter. When he's not out there with Podziemski, he actually looks good. The moment he's out there with Pods, it's just he's muddled in just the ugliness of Warriors basketball. That's number 3. Number 4, fourth and final, Will Richard, the Rook. 24 minutes, 24 seconds of action, 6 of 11 from the field, 3 of 7 from deep. I think he was 3 of 4 in just the opening quarter of this game. 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 17 points. Who's our FanDuel player of the game tonight? Let me scroll back here a little bit. And this is not a vote, but Race CNUJ in our chat writing Moses Moody -27 tonight in net rating. Yeah, that was not good. Although, me personally, I looked at that as an example of where net rating does not tell an accurate story. Like, I'm not putting this loss on Moses Moody. Now, if you want to look at Draymond Green's minus 28, okay, we could have a discussion, largely because Draymond was just ineffectual out there tonight, did nothing. Moses Moody, by the way, while we mentioned his name, besides that ugly minus 27, did have 11 points in this one, was 3 of 7 from deep, 3 boards, 2 assists. Just not a good night for him. But at the same time, it's if memory serves correct, thinking back to this game, I do not point at him as the culprit for the Warriors losing this one. But that's just me. Simon 2 with a vote for Will Richard. Will Richard. Brian Ricardo saying Podziemski is trying to ash. Brian, I don't know what that means. Pods is trying to ash. Are you trying to say that Pods is ass? Rico saying Will. G4M, Will Richard. Craig Ross saying Tingus, but I don't know if you're just saying that because it's funny to say. Side note, if you missed the episode yesterday with the Hall of Famer Rick Barry, he had Armando. You would have been proud of Rick Barry's reaction to the Tingus Pingus. Another stone face reaction. It ain't for everybody. Maybe it's an acquired taste, although something tells me the first time you see the whole clip, either you find it hilarious or you just don't. Rick Barry did not. Armando Lara does not. Hamza Kassem saying Will Richard can't score. What do you mean? He just scored 17 points in this game tonight, tied for second in the game. Julian Bashir saying everyone vote for Will Richard. All right. Well, I will count that as a roll. Urias, Delfringer, Golden Dazer saying Will Richard played really good, but he got benched by Steve Kerr for Brandon Podziemski. That is true, and I noticed that, and it was frustrating. More Will Richard votes. Hamza adding that Will Richard's 17 points are fake points. I don't know what that means, but okay. Nicholas in our chat saying Draymond Green is dog shit. Yeah, tonight he was. Another vote for Will Richard. Craig Ross saying Draymond Green is poop. Poop. Poop, poop. Yeah, it was poop. Got a vote for Guy Santos from SD Frenchie, adding his defense. Fantastic. Love all the non-votes in this category, meaning I asked for votes from 4 players, and folks are not hesitating to add commentary on the non-player of the game nominees. Nicholas Vince 05 writing Draymond Green is dog shit. Brian Ricardo saying Podziemski is terrible. Terrible. No, Julian, I'm looking at the chat, man. I had to look at the stats first. I can do a few things at once, as if you watch the show regularly, you probably picked up on that, but I don't have multiple sets of eyes. I am limited in that realm. Only so much I can do, brother. I'm catching up right now to the votes. I think, Will, you already voted once for Will Richard. Nicholas Vince, did you already say Draymond Green is dog shit, or is that an encore? Let's see if there's any other new votes in here. Zeb Bate saying surprised, expressing borderline shock that I gave Gary Payton a nomination. This is a weird part of this program, is me having to repeatedly explain to everyone that when I criticize a player, it ain't personal. It doesn't mean that I dislike the person. It just means that on a consistent basis, they are not performing. That's usually when I will levy criticism. But GP2, please, folks, don't forget I was advocate number 1 for him getting paid back in 2022. I was one of the top advocates for him being signed to the team over Avery Bradley in 2021. I was one of the ones screaming in agony when the Warriors just let GP2 walk after he was vital for their championship. It's not personal. It's just times change, especially in athletics. And there's a time and place. There's a role for certain individuals. With GP2, as I'm now like bright as F, my lighting is driving me crazy. With GP2, it's just when he's out there with Podziemski, and especially earlier in the season when he was getting minutes out there with Buddy Hield and Steph, and he had these ugly ass 4-guard lineups. I didn't like it. And he's obviously a Steve Kerr crutch. He's one of the players Steve Kerr is very comfortable with. But especially in the second half of this game tonight, when Steve Kerr decided at the beginning of the fourth quarter to suddenly implement a full court press, and it did cause some issues. Makes you also wonder why teams don't do that more often, why the Warriors aren't doing that more often. But you might also know the answer to that question. By the end of the fourth quarter, the players were gassed. It takes a lot of energy to play a full court press like that, at least at the NBA level. I feel like college kids, high school kids, they have a boundless reserves of energy. At the NBA level, some of these guys are old; they can't keep up with a 48-minute full court press. But then again, Steve Kerr is so notorious, infamous for going deep into his bench strength and numbers that you'd think with these rotations you could pull it off for a large portion of a game, and not just when you're down by 34 points or whatever the deficit was when the full court press started. My point is, GP2 tonight in the second half was impressive. He was playing some great ball. He was a pivotal part of the team even making the comeback down 34 points, bringing this game to as close, I believe, as 11. And I will give people credit when credit is due. He deserves it tonight. Do I think for a title contending team, he should be getting serious minutes at this stage of his career? No. Did I think he should have been getting minutes instead of as Jonathan Kuminga was rotting on the bench? No. But in this day and age, with what the Warriors got and what we saw tonight, I would be foolish to not give him credit. It just depends. Dr. J30 saying GP2 spark. I'm going to count that as a vote for GP2 for player of the game. SD Frenchie, that's a second vote. Lot of repeat votes. Wordman saying Will Richard. All right, it seems like a safe bet. It's Will Richard. I love how many people are piling on Draymond Green tonight. Is now the time? All right, let's really quickly give Shardall saying GP2, vote for him. I don't know how many times Nicholas, let's just avoid spamming if you don't mind. As long as you're not annoying other people by repeating that Draymond Green is dog shit, I'm cool with it. But spamming rules do exist for a good reason. So just please don't spam. I think the message has been conveyed. Mendo Coast in our chat. Are you joining us from the Mendocino Coast, one of the most beautiful places on planet Earth? If yes, I envy you. Congrats. Writing excited for the rebuild. Yeah, when we get there. We are not at the rebuild yet. All right. So it looks like the winner for player of the game is Will Richard. Congratulations, Will. Despite Hamza Kassem, Hamza, you're a verb on this program, saying that those 17 points were not real. They were, in fact, real. They were objectively, empirically a fact that occurred tonight. And Will Richard, 24 minutes, 24 seconds, 6 of 11 from the field, 3 of 7 from deep. That's nearly 50%. Even had a trip to the free throw line. The dude always crashes the glass. I love that about him. Every time he gets minutes, those rebounding numbers follow suit. 5 boards tonight, 2 assists, added a steal, 17 points for the rookie, Will Richard, who, in my humble opinion, should be taking all of Brandon Podziemski's minutes. Now, Draymond Green, in terms of a low light, let's just touch on that really quickly here. He only played 18 minutes, 33 seconds. I don't think he played any of the fourth. Let me confirm that. Fourth quarter minutes. Draymond Green did not. He did not see a second of the fourth quarter. Neither did Moses Moody. Interestingly enough, anyone else gets shut out? Will Richard did not play in the fourth quarter either. A little surprising. But Draymond did not have a good game. No doubt about that. This was just a game where he was far out of his element. He was not effectual defensively, largely because the Boston Celtics, their motion, their passing, they are a well-oiled machine. That is the Boston Celtics for you, particularly on offense. Like the ball movement is crisp. They have a shitload of scorers and shooters. Their last 2 first-round draft picks, which were very late, by the way, and those players, more specifically, Baylor Shireman, the team's first-round pick in last year's draft, but that was like number 30, I think. The team's first-round pick in the most recent draft for the Celtics, which I believe was number 28, something very low. That was Hugo Gonzalez. If you watch tonight's game, those two, they play, they get minutes, and they contribute. This is a well-coached team. Just again, I don't know if there's a better way to describe the Boston Celtics than just being a damn finely tuned, well-run machine that's oiled and ready to play regardless of who the opposition is. And the disparity in talent, the disparity in coaching was on display tonight very clearly. And I bring all that up because when it comes to Draymond Green, he was ineffectual. There was nothing he could do to have an impact in this game. The ball, the athletes moving way too quick for him. There was no singular player. I guess Jaylen Brown would be the player that Draymond Green, if he was going to kind of singularly focus on one guy to try to shut down defensively, it would be him. But the ball moves quick in this offense, and it's damn near impossible to keep up with. You saw Steve Kerr in this game tonight for brief moments implementing a zone defense, and that was ineffectual. All the Celtics did was just find the easiest open gaps imaginable. That's what a zone defense does. It has a lot of holes in it, primarily in the perimeter. And so if you're a good shooting team, you're just feasting. You're picking at meat, some barbecue meat with that kind of defense. And so Draymond was ineffectual defensively, and then offensively, the Celtics were doing what a lot of teams do when they play the Golden State Warriors. They let Draymond shoot, and they live with those results. And when he's hitting those threes, the Warriors typically end up having a competitive game because three-pointers, they're worth a lot. They're worth more than any other shot, save for a 4-point play. But as a singular field goal, that's top of the line for the most points you can get. So when Draymond's hitting those, it causes a little havoc. It's a nice little bonus for the Warriors, and they usually end up being either competitive and or winning games of that manner. But when Draymond is playing like tonight, where he's left wide open and he's 0 of 5 from deep, which is what he was, 0 of 7 from the field total, you're going to get a result like this. And Draymond, 0 points, again, on 0 of 7 shooting from the field, 0 of 5 from deep, did not have a single trip to the free throw line, only had 2 rebounds, did have 3 assists, and also had a turnover. And that's the entire stat line. 0 points, 2 boards, 3 assists, and a turnover. Net rating of -28 in 18 minutes and 13 seconds of play. This was an ugly one for Mr. Draymond Green. Not a good look for him, no doubt. What are you going to do? Someone in the chat wrote, Oaktown A. I don't know if you're writing about Draymond or not. In her chat writes, I don't hate him personally, but are you making fun of me for the way I talked about a GP2? But again, like there, I hope you understand what the difference is between real hatred, meaning like you look at someone and it's just negative feelings, and then there's criticism of an athlete, which is not hate. It's just picking apart an individual's game and what they're contributing to the game. That's the extent of it. And if you're going to call that hate, then I don't know what you're going to call the years I spent supporting the kid. Are you accusing me of having a love-hate relationship with him? Or do you just not understand how sports media works, at least effective sports media, where your goal is to provide accurate analysis, and that means not always being positive, because life is not always positive. Sports ain't always positive. The Warriors sure as shit have not been positive much lately. G4M in the chat writing, to be honest, Draymond and Brandon Podziemski were cheating off shooters tonight. Okay. No pushback. Oaktown A adding that Draymond Green sucks. Just admit it. Sucks is a strong word. Did he suck tonight? Yeah. When Stephen Curry comes back, are there nights where he's absolutely not going to suck? Yeah. Now, speaking of Steph, we got to talk about that for a second. Actually, let me bring up some other stats real quick, and then we'll discuss some news pertaining to Stephen Curry and that runner's knee. But I really quickly want to add Pat Spencer had a meh kind of game. Got 26 minutes, 42 seconds of run, was 2 of 7 from the field, 1 of 3 from deep, only had 5 points on the night. But the encouraging stats, there were a couple of them. One is he had 7 assists, which led the team. And he also had 2 steals. He was active. Nothing to write home about. Wouldn't call it a bad game. Brandon Podziemski had some positive statistically. He was efficient shooting, 5 of 8 from the field. Had 1 3-pointer made, 1 for 3 from deep. Had 7 boards, 6 assists. So, that's a positive. Had 1 steal, 1 block, 11 points total. Was an even 0 in net rating tonight. And it's just every time I see that dude on the floor, all I think of is there are better players down this bench that he's taking minutes from. That's my thought. Every time I see Brandon Podziemski on the floor, my thought is, okay, is he going to do some good things tonight? We know he's going to do a lot of bad things tonight. We know opposing teams will pick him apart defensively. They feast on this kid because and he can't help it. And again, this isn't hate. This is just analysis. He is too slow-footed, too unathletic, and has too small of a wingspan to be effective defensively. Offensively, he has nights like tonight where he gives you an average performance. My one critique primarily of Podziemski, besides the defensive side of the ball, is he still got 27 minutes and 15 seconds of action tonight, which was 3rd on the team in minutes. The only players who got more minutes than him were Guy Santos, who played 30 minutes and 34 seconds. Deserve it. He had a solid game tonight. And Al Horford, who somehow played 17 seconds more than Brandon Podziemski. Al Horford, side note, did not have a good game tonight. He grabbed 8 boards. All right, that's okay. 4 assists for a big, that's all right. But 2 of 10 from the field, 1 of 6 from deep, in 27 minutes, 32 seconds, 5 points for Al Horford. Okay, that's not a good night. And the Celtics were attacking him relentlessly defensively. But Podziemski to be always in the leaders of this team in individual minutes and to be giving you 11 points, he is not a high volume anything. Like, he's not a high volume scorer. He's not a high volume shooter. He's not a high volume distributor. It's just there's one word that I keep going back to when I think of Pods, and that's mid. He's just average middle of the run, middle of the, is that the adage? Basketball player. Just some nights he looks average, some nights he looks terrible. On the rarest of occasions, he looks good. And again, it's just not enough for him to be getting routinely minutes that lead the team. Tonight he was 3rd. So it's just, it's one of those, it's just, again, he's Steve Kerr's favorite. What are you going to do? What I'm not surprised by is that the Warriors were making these huge runs, usually when he was not on the floor. And in those moments where he was on the floor, I didn't see him contributing to any of it. It's a massively frustrating topic at this point because, again, to me, 27 minutes, 15 seconds for Podziemski. You couldn't give those to Malachi Leon's, two-way player who's 6'9", athletic, who got a DNP tonight. He was available. Warriors have a new two-way player named Nate Williams. He was actually in uniform tonight. Could have played. 6'5" guard. I know nothing about him. I need to see him play before I have any kind of judgment myself. But when you're a tanking team, which is what this team, Warriors team, essentially is, why are we not seeing these guys? And 27 minutes, 15 seconds for Podziemski. Let's see. I'm looking at Will Richards' 24 minutes. That should have been 34. Moses Moody's 22 minutes. That should have been 32. I really wish DeAnthony Melton was not on a minutes restriction because he played 25 minutes, 10 seconds tonight. That's the cap still for him. Pat Spencer played 26 minutes, 42 seconds. I'd rather see those other 7 minutes go to him. Bam. Your exercise for Brandon Podziemski's minutes and where they should go completed. Latasha in her chat, who never takes me up on the invite to come on the show, just loves to be this cowardly, anonymous typer, keyboard flicker, accusing me of hating someone. I don't hate him. Just because he's a shitty basketball player doesn't mean I hate him. I think, if anything, I'm going to flip this around on you and say either you're ridiculously, pathetically loyal to the kid. Why? That's the question I would love to know. And you're overly sensitive to the criticism. That's what I'm going to throw back at you. I don't think you know what the word hate means if you think I hate Brandon Podziemski. And on that note, here was look, God damn it, Latasha. I mean, it's getting to the point now. I've asked you before, don't mention me in the chat. Don't make me ban you. You're becoming a distraction. I invite people on the show. If you don't have the guts to have a discussion with me, shut the F up when it comes to my name. It isn't complicated. I've asked you this repeatedly. Why are you so loyal to him? I'm guessing you're a woman because Latasha has a feminine name to it. Is there a poster of Brandon Podziemski taped to your ceiling above your bed? Because your loyalty to him is what makes me think that in the same way you think I hate him, I think you're obsessed with him. I think you're in love with him. And see, Teo, don't, man. I'm going to give you a warning on that. There's no rage bait. It's just, what do you want? Do you want me to just ignore people? Because where I'm from, ignoring people who talk shit to your face is a cowardly move. But if I engage someone who talks shit, that's me biting into the bait. How do I win here? So it's a very simple strategy. Keep my goddamn name out of the chat or you're gone. If you want to have a conversation with me, come on the show. It isn't complicated. Hate. Latasha, you have no effing clue what that word means, clearly. If you think that me criticizing Sideshow Bob is hate. He's routinely getting the most minutes on this team and puts up numbers like these. There's a Twitter account that's a Brandon Podziemski fan account on Twitter that put up a tweet a year and a half ago saying we're not going to tweet again until he scores 30 points. We're approaching nearly 2 years. And that's the guy that you have a poster of on your ceiling above your bed? Come on, man. Sheltered soft asses, dude. That's hate. You're hating him. Shit, man. You weak, soft, pansy asses. People who think like what my criticism of Podziemski is hate. Have you ever left your parents' house in your life? Do you have any clue what the world is about? Hold on. If you're going to call that hate, Jesus Christ. What's going on here? I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay, I think that got cleaned up. Julian, I saw you thinking that I did not give someone enough credit. How are you doing? And who is this person that you feel I should have been giving more time to?
I forgot what I said. I just be typing things.
I think it was Will Richard. I think Will Richard is the one that
Yeah, probably. So since like none of the people that disagree with you are going to hop on,
They never do.
I'm going to be a little confrontational with you.
Here's another one of these pansies, Steph the GOAT.
Yeah, just to get more exciting. So I'm going to say I'm very disappointed.
I'm sensitive. You're the one that gets your panties in a bunch the moment I talk about Sideshow Bob in any manner that doesn't treat him like he's a potential all-star someday. I'm the sensitive one. I love that, dude. Hypocrites and then some. Go ahead, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say I'm disappointed in you today because your breakdown of the game did not tell the story of the game, and you made it sound as if like Porzingis and some others had a decent game, but you didn't. I don't know. Did you watch the game, Cyrus? Because you broke the game.
Julian, I'm trying not to sound like a hater. Yeah. And apparently I can't make anybody happy. What do you want me to say? That the Warriors look like absolute shit in that fourth quarter masked the very ugly game? Yes. Do you want me to say that Brandon Podziemski sucks balls? Yes. Brandon Podziemski does not belong in the NBA.
Well, let's break it down because his box score is very misleading. So, but before we get to Pods, the reason why Will Richard is the player of the game is because Will Richard scored 15 points before the end of halftime.
Correct.
And before he got his 24 minutes. So he was on pace to have a 30-point game. And go ahead. I just saw some Latasha was banned from the
she's out. I mean, I made it very clear. If you want to, if you're gonna mention my name, come on the show. You have that invite. And if you're too stupid to engage interpersonally with me, keep my name out of your mouth. And that idiot did not listen, and they're gone, man. Yeah. I don't want these distractions. All right. And again, as the host of a live show where the audience is allowed to participate, the key rule here is don't make this about me. Okay, if you want to sit here and defend Podziemski, defend him all day, but don't make this about me. All right, because the moment you mention my name in the chat, you're putting me in a position where either I ignore it, and then people could say, "Oh, you're dodging, you're trying to avoid the shade," and then if I engage, I'm taking the bait. How do I win here?
Well, I hope she comes back because I actually had a bet with her. She actually blocked me a long time ago, so I had someone else.
Idiot, man! Every one of these Podziemski supporters. There's more. Your IQ is like this. You are putzes. And again, I can't. Marcus Aurelius, so I'm reading his book right now. I think said it best. Wise people get offended by what stupid folks say. Stupid people get offended by what wise people say. So it doesn't surprise me that these trolls are the ones that unfortunately are like just. It just sucks that there are people out there with this little level of acumen. Like that's what disappoints me. I want a society where people are educated, where people have critical thinking skills, where people and which in turn translates to a civilized society. But you sadly have so many of these like just simpletons, man, who clearly just either lack education, just are lacking something. Maybe you're at a level of pure mental retardation. And if that's the case, maybe I should have some sympathy for you. But I don't think I don't think that's the case. I think it's more obtuseness, if that's a word. It's just people being obtuse, man. It's ridiculous.
Well, the bet was that that I had with her through like I think it was like Larry Hood's, is that if Kuminga scored 40 points on March 21st, she would come on the show and debate you. So I guess that might be out unless she's.
I don't care, man. Bye. Life's too short. I don't.
So I want to get to like the breakdown of the game, and so Will Richard was on pace for scoring 30 points. And if anyone watches the game, because I feel like people in the chat, they said, "Oh, Kristaps had a good game," or "This person had a good game." You're not watching the game, and I think Steve Kerr might be a genius in the fact that his rotations always lose the game or inflate the lead for the other team, and it looks like coaching. But it's like coaching for sabotage, and I'm not being exaggerating, or because, for example, Will Richards on a heater, and you don't play him, you sit him most of the third, and you don't play him at all in the fourth. And if you notice the third quarter, that's when the Celtics went on their big run to extend it to 34 points. Who was not in the game, and who was playing most of the third? Pat Spencer was not playing in the third quarter. Brandon Podziemski, he was playing the majority, and that's when the lead inflated to 34. So if you're paying attention to who's on the floor these times. Now, who was on the floor when we went on a fourth quarter run to cut it to 12? Podziemski was not on the floor. Pat Spencer was playing the point. We have Melton, Gee, and some others. I forgot who it was. But that was the defensive lineup, or not even defense, just the hustle lineup. Just because Podziemski's box score looks good does not mean that he was playing well. So, and this is the breakdown, how he was playing tonight, because he was not looking for his shot. He would dribble, he would stop, there would be a space between him and the hoop, and then he'll just start spinning around on that pivot foot and looking to someone else to pass to make the bad shot. So he doesn't turn the ball over because he looks for someone else to take the bad shot. And that's what he was doing.
Is that what people are so stuck on Podziemski still with? Is he doesn't turn the ball over, so that just automatically translates to him being good?
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you only look at the box score instead of looking at the game. There was a play that I noted where I think someone got an offensive rebound and Podziemski was in the paint. They passed it to him in the paint. He didn't even try to take a floater because he said, okay, in his mind, he's probably saying, if I brick this, then it's going to count against my stats. So he pivoted around and looked to someone to pass out on the perimeter. And I'm not sure if the person made the shot or whatever, but it was a microcosm of how he played, especially tonight, because I think he's in his head right now to be extra careful. So he was playing extra careful, but when he was on the floor, you can see the effect that he has on everybody else because he's not moving the ball to the right people. He's putting people in the bad positions, and he's not taking the shots that he should take. And when he finally does take a shot, it's when the game's like out of reach and someone finally lets him in for an easy layup. So his stats are misleading. Of course, if you play 27 minutes, you'll get a bunch of rebounds, and he had some assists, but all those are inflated. Like he got into double digits scoring on a last minute bucket in the fourth quarter. So that's when I said, I was disappointed because I felt like you weren't breaking the game down the way that it actually played out, which is, bullet point. Will Richard was on a heater. Steve Kerr sat him. Pat Spencer set the third. Pods played the most. And I thought that if we stayed on that 30-point lead that Celtics had, Podziemski would not have gone back in the game. But Kerr has done this consistently over the past a couple of months or a month or so when we started kind of like going on these weird games where Pods is out of the game, but when we cut it close because someone else went on a run, Kerr puts him back in the game. And then that's when we eventually lose the game. And those are the things that people have to pay attention to. And I'll throw it to you, Sai, before I talk about Porzingis tonight. You're muted. You're muted, by the way.
Or I'm muted. And Julian, when I'm muted, speak up sooner so I'm not talking for like 20 seconds, embarrassing myself, please. I didn't add anything to it because ultimately this was a blowout loss. Yeah. When you lose in blowout fashion, like there is no analysis really. It's just I was trying to put a nice spin on a very ugly game. The cheerleaders, the homers, I'm sure they'll bring up the fact that the Warriors came within 11 in the fourth quarter. But again, they trailed by 34 late in the third quarter. Jaylen Brown had a triple-double with 15 minutes to play in this game. The only reason the Warriors really came back is because the Celtics took their foot off the gas. Like, there's nothing to really analyze here. You're right. Will Richard in the first half, more specifically had a great first quarter. First quarter of this game, he scored 11 points, right? And there was 11 points in the first quarter. And the first quarter, that was competitive, by the way. The Warriors are still in this. At the end of one, it was 36-32. And Will Richard in that first quarter was 3 of 4 from deep, had 11 points. At the end of the first half, as you mentioned, Will Richard had 15 points. He played 15 minutes, 46 seconds. Second half, his minutes got cut in half. I don't know why.
How many minutes did he play? What website do you use, by the way? But how many minutes did he play in the second compared to the first?
That's what I'm saying. He played half the minutes in the second.
No, I'm talking about the second
got
quarter.
Cut in half in the second. And the why of that, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying not to sound like a broken record because ultimately, and I said at the very beginning of the show, would it be wise to take Podziemski's minutes? He had 27 and change. And again, if you want to focus on the turnovers, also focus on the fact that you need to score points in the NBA to win games. He does not contribute to scoring. If you don't contribute to scoring, not turning the ball over is meaningless. It's a cute little ribbon on a pile of shit. It doesn't matter. And so when Podziemski plays 27 minutes, 15 seconds, you could have easily given 10 of those minutes to Will Richard. I said that at the very beginning of the show, Julian. Will Richard played 24 minutes. He should have played 34 minutes, but he played 24 because Steve Kerr's stepson, Brandon Podziemski, not his real son, Nick Oles Kerr, is someone he adores clearly. And again, plays favorites with. But if you took those 27 minutes, gave 10 of those to Will Richard, gave 10 more of those to Moses Moody, gave the remaining 7 to Pat Spencer, your team would be better.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that we would have won this game, but coaching leads to those blowouts. And we look like a team that did not pick up a basketball or practice at all throughout the All-Star break.
It looked awful. You're right.
And that only is for teams that are the top 1 or 2 seeds, where it's like, hey, you've done pretty well. Come back when you want. I even saw a press conference with Steve Kerr. He said, "Oh yeah, we gave the players an option to come if they wanted to." And you can't have this free-flowing hippie organization when you're in the play-in and you don't have the players that have shown you that, oh, they're professionals. Draymond Green didn't look like he picked up a basketball the entire time. Moses Moody came in with a really nice tan, and he side bricked some of his shots. None of them looked like they practiced or picked up a basketball or took the break as a serious time off to fine-tune their game, because that's what championship team or even a player that has a goal within in themselves does during the break. They don't use that as like a time to just eat a bunch of sweets and lay out on the beach. Like power to anyone how they want to live their life, and I can't expect to ask more from an athlete I don't know, but I've seen the kind of drive that it takes to win, and that's not it. Just like laying back on the for a week and a half and just say, no, I'm good and I'll just show up. So yeah, we didn't look like a team that was prepared. We didn't look like a team that practiced, and we look like a nonchalant organization that says, yeah, come in wherever you want. It's optional, no penalties, how have you. And to kind of like move over to Kristaps Porziņģis, those that say that he had a good game, what I noticed, because you have to see the whole game.
Because in case you didn't, now look, maybe you can make the argument that he was very rusty in the first half, and he hadn't played in over a month. Although Kuminga hadn't played in over a month, and he scored 20 points in 20 minutes his first game back. But Kristaps Porziņģis was very rusty. But look, defensively, Boston was feasting on his lack of defense, and he had a decent second half. But again, when you're losing in blowout fashion, it's a spin. It's a positive spin you can put on it. That Porzingis had a decent game. It wasn't an awful game. The first half was awful. He made up for it with some decent shots and playmaking in the second half. Porzingis, by the way, in his first game as a member of the Golden State Warriors, 17 minutes, 15 seconds, 5 of 9 from the field. He had 2 3-pointers made out of 5 attempts. That's 40%. And it's a weird 3. It's like a super quick release. And the 2 threes he made were almost like forced, but they went in. So 12 points, only 1 rebound, 1 assist, did have 2 turnovers and a block. Again, in 17 minutes, 15 seconds. It wasn't bad, but defensively, though, I mean, he's very slow-footed.
The things that he looks bad in, I don't see it getting better. So the one thing I noticed that was very glaring was that he was consistently the last guy across the half-court line.
Yeah.
And you can view running. Like running, when people are picking up their leg. Like I'll give credit to Buddy. Buddy Hield ran his ass off. He didn't know where he was running to, but he ran his ass off. Kristaps Porziņģis, he's running like he doesn't want to get his heart rate up. And you can see it's a trot. And he was consistently the last person across the half-court line. So the things that he's good was half-court offense, either a post-up or a standstill jump shooting. That's not good enough to play in the NBA because you need the highest stamina of top athletes around the world. You can't just be like, oh, let me just get into a little spot and I can do a hook shot or open jump shot. And the defense, people were going by him. There was a time where I thought that he should have he did have a two-handed block shot, but there was a play before then where he just didn't even jump, and it could have been a block. So yeah, defense and his transition on the offense, and especially defense, was horrible. And if he's not willing to run, and that's what I noticed, that either he can't, or he's not, or he's understanding I can't run. And because we can all run, doing the treadmill, on the bike. So it has nothing to do with rust. He has all season. Like, your legs work a certain way. His legs did not look like they were going to lift up and pick up any faster in the future. And so that's a concerning part. And so someone, and I think it's Hamza, he said that he played better than Vucevic just because Vucevic had 9 points.
Vucevic.
Yeah.
What do you mean he played better than Vuce? How?
Well, because they only look at the box score and they look at points. They don't look at impact, positioning. Yeah. They don't look at availability. Like I wrote in the chat that Vucevic has played over 70 games the last 4 seasons and has averaged 18 and 10. Porzingis has his highest was 65 in the Wizards, but anything below that has been under 52 games the last 4 seasons. So availability is a big point, but also Porzingis doesn't out-rebound him. He might score a little bit more just based on the box score stats, but he's not playing a full 82 season. I think Vucevic, he played all 82 games a couple of years ago. So
he's durable. He's a durable player. Yeah. And again, all I kept thinking when I saw Vuce was, why did the Warriors not make a serious play for this guy a year ago? Like, he was available. It's just a lot of bad decisions by the Warriors lately. It's very unfortunate. I don't think Porzingis had a bad game, but it's just I did not come away from this game thinking, oh wow, the Warriors might have a shot now. Like, in other words, I was wondering or wanting Ryan Leong back on the show. He will be joining us Sunday. Again, a very early Sunday game. Tip off is at 12:30. Look, let's see how Porzingis handles Jokic. All right, because that's what you got him for. If you're making a play for a Kristaps Porziņģis, you're getting him for teams that have size of their own that you need to match up with. Denver's a perfect example of that. Let's see how this Sunday
Pingus
holds up against Nikola Jokic, and then we could talk about we could get into it a little more on Sunday after that. But and I want to address one other thing here. Say Steph the Goat asking, why am I such a hater on Podziemski, but super defensive about Draymond? I don't recall ever being super defensive about Draymond, but what needs to be acknowledged repeatedly, since a lot of you just ignore one half of the game, is defense. And Draymond tonight was utter shit. I didn't compliment him at all. I think I spent like a good 3 to 5 minutes just bagging on him tonight. So I don't know where you get the super defensive thing from, but I'm also not going to pretend that the Warriors dynasty wasn't in large part because of him. Brandon Podziemski hasn't done a thing to earn that level of loyalty or respect. Hell, Moses Moody has a ring. I'm never going to forget that. Does Podziemski have a ring? Nope. So when you're part of a title, yeah, you're going to get a little extra cushioning in terms of analysis and in terms of maybe leeway. I mean, Draymond's a future Hall of Famer, man. And what are you bitter at him about? Because he punched Jordan Poole 3 years ago? I mean, you call yourself Steph the GOAT. I mean, he's Steph's guy. Steph loves him. So I don't get why I guess you're so anti Draymond Green. But I'm not defensive of him. But at least he plays defense. I thought a better example, if you're going to come at me with why do you hate on Pods but you don't hate on this guy, I'm surprised more people aren't bringing Moses Moody into that equation, because Moses Moody statistically is very inconsistent. There are games where he lights it up and he looks really good, and you're left wanting more and thinking, wow, like okay, we don't know what the ceiling is yet for this guy. And then you have games like tonight where Moses Moody, again, I wish he got more minutes. 22 minutes to me is indefensible. And again, this goes back to Steve Kerr and his inane rotational decisions. But he had an 11-point game. He was 3 of 7 from deep. It wasn't a bad game, but it wasn't a great game either. If you watched it, one of those 3-point attempts was an air ball. Some of those missed threes came at inopportune times when the Warriors were trying to make a run, and then he just would put up this awful a shot that would go nowhere. But what Moses Moody still brings to the table is damn good defense. And that's half the game. Yeah. Half the game is defense. Unfortunately, for you folks who love looking at stats, the defensive side of the ball does not have good, accurate representation statistically with measurables. Steals don't necessarily represent someone being really good defensively. Neither do blocks. It is largely an eye test thing. And you can look at statistics like total team defense. I know some people love to bring up net rating stats. And if you do that, make sure you're looking at the whole squad and what they're doing, not just one individual. But Podziemski does not play defense. So when you're trying to defend Brandon Podziemski, I'm thinking about that half of the court too, where guys like Moses Moody, where guys like Draymond Green, they're not liabilities in that department. So even when they're having an off night offensively, you're still getting something defensively on that end. With Brandon Podziemski, I mean, you're getting a charge once every 3 weeks? Like, yay. Again, color me not impressed by charge statistics. It's a cute stat. It would be a nice compliment to on top of many other positive stats, but it's not a compliment to any other stats. It's just literally the only stat you folks can cling to with Podziemski. Charges. He's a terrible defensive player. He's not a great offensive player. He's average at best offensively. My question to you again is, why do you love him so much? What is so special about Brandon Podziemski that makes you love him, yet simultaneously you have no issues hating on other Warriors players? The pods love. And I saw Steph the GOAT for a second in our waiting room. I was so looking forward to bringing him on so I could hear the defense of Brandon Podziemski, but I never hear it. I never hear it, man.
Sorry, who was the
to explain it to me? They're just all up in their damn feelings, but they can't express those feelings. They just have the feelings, and they have the capacity to type on a phone while hiding behind a screen name. But the moment they have to articulate it and communicate, that's when they wilt up and hide in mommy's basement, going, "Mom, the meatloaf."
We can break down. Well, Peyton Pritchard, who cooked us tonight, a lot of his open shots came from Podziemski leaving him open in the second and third quarter.
Yes, they did.
And so I think we can get on Draymond Green. Draymond Green, weeks ago, I believe stopped playing defense unless it's against a big time spotlight team. So what I'm seeing from Draymond Green is he's just going through the motions while he's out there. So he takes his shots, he runs up and down the court, and then eventually Kerr will set him in the fourth quarter. He doesn't care or mind. And so the only time we'll get a good game out of Green is if we're playing the Bucks and Giannis is available, or if we're playing the Spurs and Wemby's around. But I'm not seeing a night-to-night defensive effort from Green, which is affecting the rest of the team because we don't have a defensive leader out there that's motivating the guys. Because right now Green is just, he's just a guy out there right now.
Honestly, Julian, to me, I don't know why Steve Kerr doesn't just have the obvious conversation with Draymond where he sits him down and just says, "Look, man, when Steph's not on the floor, what are we doing here? Like, just you need to sit out too." I'm with you. I do not see the point of Draymond Green when there is no Stephen Curry. It should be a package deal at this stage of his career. It should be a package deal. If Steph's out, Dre should also be out.
Well, here's the thing. If you're paying someone $27 million, you should not have to motivate someone to give their all of what they're capable of doing. And I believe that's part of why the All-Star game is not competitive, because we're living in an era where these athletes don't have any pride in what they're doing. Like, you should say that, hey, I'm making 30, 40, 50 million, $70 million a year. This is a privilege. I'm competitive. I want to show that I'm the best at whatever particular thing that I do. And if you like Jokic and Luka, they're dogging the All-Star game, sitting out. We have to do gimmicks. Draymond Green, like, oh, well, Steph is not there. I'm not playing. How about you still show that you still have it? Like, you're. And
by the way, we haven't even talked about Stephen Curry and the fact that his knee tendonitis, the MRI did come back clean in terms of structural damage. It also confirmed what the issue is, which is that runner's knee. He is going to be reevaluated 10 days from now. And what that means is in 10 days from now at minimum, right? It doesn't necessarily mean exactly 10 days from now, they're going to come back and give us a new update. In case you're questioning me saying that, all you got to do is look at Seth Curry, where I don't know how many reports we've gotten about him saying he will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. 3 weeks go by, sometimes even longer before we finally get an update. So with Steph, minimum 10 days before we find out what's next. And 10 days from now means March 3rd. Tuesday, March 3rd is when we're expected to get our next Stephen Curry update. The postseason starts a month after that. Shut this shit down, tank, get the best draft pick possible. There is nothing to play for this year.
That's what I said. You have to give credit to Steve Kerr if he's a tanking genius, because no coach in their right mind will be playing Porzingis like this, especially every time we go on a run. Oh, I got to put him back in. So there, like I'm just like trying to think the silver lining. Clearly, he's not doing it, but this is a amazing tanking coaching job where the NBA is not suspicious of our tanking because we're playing the players.
Well, there's a lot of teams doing it, man. Yeah, there's a lot of teams doing it.
But there's a glaring, and first we're still playing Draymond. We're playing our best players. Like, oh, we just can't win. Little old Pods, the little engine that could. He just can't get us over the hump. But I would say this, that I don't think the team. And we've heard this in practices as far as how the second unit, because you remember when Klay Thompson was on his team or other, like they have not built up the chemistry of respecting someone else that has a hot hand. And when Klay was on this team, everyone would, oh, he's hot. Let's stop what we're doing. Like if anyone watched the All-Star game, when Kawhi Leonard was hot, everyone said, hey, let's stop what we're doing and let's give it to Kawhi Leonard. And I'm not saying Will Richard is these guys, but I think in any basketball team, when you see someone has a hot hand, you go to it until it's not hot anymore. Especially as a coach, you don't sit that player if he's giving you the most points. You ride it and see what you got. Just like the coach in the All-Star game, he still played Kawhi Leonard the third game and blew it out. And he only had 1 point, but he said, hey, maybe you can still catch fire. Now, I know I'm comparing All-Stars to rotational players, but I don't see that but this team, as far as when the second unit or anybody that's in the game, they don't look for the person that's having a good game. You have someone that hit 2 threes and there's like, okay, let's move it around. Oh, okay, this person, oh, we missed a shot, brick the shot. But you see it on the Celtics. They knew who the hot hand was. Yeah. They knew that Peyton Pritchard was a hot guy, and they'll get it to him. They know who. Oh, Jaylen Brown. I have to look from. Yeah, he's your all-star. But there is a sense of kind of the flow of the game, and our coaching staff is not teaching that. And I think that's one of the things that was frustrated with Kuminga, is that, like, when the second unit is in, you're saying get the ball to Pat Spencer and rotate it around. I think I saw a press conference of Horford today. He said, yeah, we practice getting the ball to Draymond Green. Like, none of these things are really making sense. And I just wanted to say that there was something important I wanted to say. Oh yeah, I looked up everyone that says Kerr he can't do no wrong. I was randomly searching these games that Kerr has lost for the Warriors, and we were talking about Moody earlier, and I'm pretty sure you remember this game. And it was November 28, 2023. Moses Moody scores 4 for 4, 3 for 3 in the fourth quarter against the Sacramento Kings, and 11 points on a heater. Then Steve Kerr pulls him out. I think he puts Andrew Wiggins back in and loses the game. And I know we referenced this game before, but I didn't know how bad it was until I researched it today. The game against the Nuggets that Kuminga, he had 16 points on 5 of 7, 6 for 6 from the free throw line. You know, the guy that you people say they can't hit his free throws. We had a 14-point lead when Kirk took him out with 4 minutes and 36 seconds left in the third quarter. And we ended up losing that game 130-127. This is the coach that you guys continue to die on your sword with. And this has been a pattern for about 3 years. I just mentioned 2 games, but it's 5 to 10 games of insistence of inexplicable players that you're going with. Wiggins should have been limited. Klay should have been limited. Draymond times you should have been yanked. We've just been putting up with so much. And tonight we saw something very similar with Will Richard. I know we didn't have a lead, but I go back to that one game where Jimmy Butler was healthy, but he sat because of something that happened last minute. Will Richard plays 30-plus minutes for Jimmy Butler against a good team, and we win the game. And since then, he's been limited or DNP'd. He was DNP'd the last game before the All-Star break. And this is a coach that says, oh, well, the rookie, this. No other coach in the league plays to seniority. They play for the best, whoever goes there. So that's all I have to say, son.
Muted again. Yeah, there's no meritocracy in a Steve Kerr system. It's just who he feels is the best. It's not a, oh, you've been lighting it up on the scoreboard. We've been winning games because of you. Here's your reward. Get back on the bench because I don't like you. That's how he rolls. Steph the GOAT in the chat writes that, and this is bullshit, that you don't even like pods. Yeah, F that, you liar. And the reason why I say that is because you add that with, I think you hate on him too much. If you didn't like him, you wouldn't care if I criticized him. And let me spell it out for you again in terms of why I criticize him. Because he routinely leads the team in minutes. He's playing the most on this team. He's second on the team in minutes since Jimmy Butler went down. He's first on the team in minutes since Steph went down. If he doesn't play that much, he's not on the radar. But when you're getting the most minutes, you goddamn right the focus is going to be on you. Spotlight, shine in, because you're playing the most. Steph, is that not a simple concept to you? God damn, man. Kayoko, you're going to be next, I promise. You've been waiting a long time, and then Genji, but Barber's back. Good to hear from you. What's on your mind, Barber?
Oh, I'm the one talking right now. You hear me?
Yeah, you are talking. Well, yeah. And we can hear you.
Nice to talk to you. I wanted a good conversation with you. No screaming, no hating, no problem. It's all good with you?
Of course, always, yes.
Okay, perfect. Because I hear a lot of time that I should be sitting on another podcast where everybody thinks like me, but for me it's not the way to go. I think it's a bad way for people to go where everybody thinks the same. I think we just should mix it up just a bit.
They call those, Barbara, they call those echo chambers, and where you're in an environment where everyone thinks like you and believes in the same things you do. And all that does is limit your perspective. It doesn't increase your acumen. So if your goal is to be a brighter person in this world, don't live in echo chambers.
But I'll be honest. Maybe it's because I'm from Montreal. I don't hear all the cheering and good talk about all of them. I mostly listen to you guys. So in my mind, most people are hating on Golden State right now. So
you know what's funny? The next person we're going to bring on the show, Kayoko, is in Ottawa. What's the drive between Montreal and Ottawa? That's random.
An hour and a half.
Wow, you're almost neighbors. It's like us in Sacramento.
Yeah, but they're in Ontario. Right. We're different province, and we're in the French part. So I'm the French guy.
But the French Canadians are invading tonight. What is on your mind, Barber? Take it away.
Okay, I'll be honest. So we're not gonna speak Kerr. That's for sure.
We can talk about whatever you want, man. There's no limits.
No, because I don't want to go all over this again. But I'll say one thing. It's not because we love Kerr that we love Puds. I know they're both together for the way that he makes him play. He makes him play too much. If there's one thing I'd like to say about Puds, you're mostly all right. But I think that if that player would have like just a smaller role, a regular 15-minute bench player doing good game, bad game, but people would love him a bit more. He has such a big role that it's easy now to see all his flaws, and it's too much for him. Like, he should be put on the side for a regular nice starter player.
Agreed.
So that's one thing about Puds. The rest, I don't care about Puds. Now, I'll be honest. Like, the tanking shit, we're 8th right now. Like, let's say we lose all our game. Like, the best we'll get is what? The 14 pick? Can we get the 14 pick, like the last lottery pick, if we lose all the games?
Yes, the lottery is the worst 14 teams are lottery picks. Top 16 are in the playoffs.
Yeah, but can we get it? Like if we lose everything,
easily. Well, worst case scenario, you drop to the 10 seed because let me look up the standings right now, because if I remember correctly, 11 and below in the Western Conference is where like the real genuine tankers are, like the teams that have no shot at anything. And I think the Mavericks, I'm pulling it up right now. The Mavericks are your current 11 seed. No, Memphis. I apologize. Memphis is your current 11 seed. Dallas is your current 12 seed. And the Warriors are separated by the 11th seed Grizzlies by 6 games. But what the reason why I'm encouraging and think tanking is the smart move is because even if you can't drop below them, at least if you drop below, let's say, the Clippers and the Trailblazers, you're still putting yourself in a better position for the draft lottery, where even if you don't win the lottery, let's say the ping pong balls
doesn't go away
in your favor, you're still getting a pick depending on your record. So if you finish with a record worse than the Clippers and the Trailblazers, and if you can tank where you're getting below even the Grizzlies and maybe the Mavericks, that's just a higher draft pick for you. That's better odds of getting a good player.
Okay, great. But now if we think like most of the people are talking about the front office of this team, we don't know how to draft. So it's maybe not the greatest thing. Like I'll be honest, because the talk is different now because Jimmy got hurt. The last time we talked, Jimmy was still on the team. The real thing is, I think the way people speak on right now about the team is the same way we used to speak when Jimmy was still there. There's not much difference. We used to still say there's shit, we're not going nowhere, nothing's gonna happen. So I'll try to speak a bit like if Jimmy was still there, but I know it changed. Like thing changed now. Right now we're in 8th position. We have like, even if we say we're bad, we have like the 9 best defense with pods on the floor and like not so good player. So we still have a decent defensive like team. Steph is not playing. If like you just said, even on Draymond Green, yeah, you're right. He could sit on the bench until the end of the season. Well, not totally sitting, but just like a change up or whatever. But for good game, playoff time, I still think that Curry, Draymond, and like, I know it's a big if, but you said it today. It's not a big thing for KP to have a decent game today, but for an injury-prone guy, for a guy that didn't play for, I don't know, 2-3 months, 17 minutes, 12 points, efficiency was good. Like, yes, in defense, he's a problem, but I think you could put him with, like, you guys want a big lineup. You put him with Al Horford, Green, Steph, and I don't know the next one you want to put Melton, Moody. You could have a nice starting 5. And for me, like, Jimmy Butler was averaging 19 points and 5 maybe.
He was awesome. Yeah, he was around there. Yeah, statistically correct.
I know it's a big if, but you said like most of the year KP was averaging 50 game. We have like 26 left game. If he can play those 26 game and average 19 points and 5 rebounds, that's kind of like a Jimmy Butler for now. He's not Jimmy Butler, I know, but we can fit something different around there. And
so
that's
what
the
do you
point.
think is, so first of all, you're not factoring in Stephen Curry, who knows when he's coming back, right?
No, yeah, that's 100% true.
And that's a big part of this. The fact that he had that they said 10 days, that surprised me. That means like we might not see him until like mid-March.
Okay, but don't you think that
in the season? Crazy shit. But let me ask you this. So I follow along what you're saying. You're basically, correct me if I'm wrong, you're making the argument that Kristaps Porziņģis could in theory replicate and replace the contributions of Jimmy Butler. And so you're saying, why not roll the dice since you do have Stephen Curry and your defense is 9th in the NBA in defensive rating? Is that accurate?
Yes, and we're 9th, and the difference between 9th and 4 is 0.8 points. So like we're almost a top 5 defense. Like,
yeah. So just to follow up on that, That's a good take there. So the number 3 defense in the NBA right now is belongs to the San Antonio Spurs. Their defensive rating is 110.7.
No, but go to 5th.
No, I'm getting there. But I'm adding to your point. I'm actually making your point.
Okay, no problem. Sorry.
So the Spurs are 3rd with 110.7.
Yeah.
The Warriors are just 2 points back of the Spurs.
Yeah.
And they're 9th in the NBA.
Exactly.
So that's what separates 3 and 9. And the point you're making, Barber, is you're pointing at what, the 5th seed, which is the Houston Rockets, and they're 11.9.
Exactly.
And the Warriors are 12.7. So 0.8 points separates 5 and 9.
Yeah. And the top 5 defense is usually a contender. Like
usually, yeah. Yeah.
But we don't have the offense right now. That's the problem. That's the offense.
You know what the real problem is, Barber? It's because the offense is currently 14th.
Yeah.
And what that reflects is they're 14th in offense, 9th in defense. That's a slightly above average team, which is what they are. The problem to me is that they're in the Western Conference. If the Warriors were in the Eastern Conference, I would not be espousing rhetoric tied to tanking. I'd be saying, go for it. You're in the East. Who knows what the hell could happen? But they're in the West, man. Like, I guess that's where my optimism
This is true, but I go back to last year, and I think we have the guy to play better when it comes time to great game, like good game that counts. They can beat the Spurs, even if it sounds crazy. In the playoffs, if Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and maybe, like I said, if KP can be in good shape, the rest of the player can be motivated even more by that in these moments. And we have a top 10 player of all time that still plays like almost MVP level. This is what you need in those moments. That's why we beat Houston last year.
Barber, are you going to be available Sunday?
Yes, for sure.
Because I was going to invite you to come back Sunday for a post-game show, because here's what I'm trying to say. If Kristaps Porziņģis can hold his own Sunday against the Nuggets, let's have this conversation again. And I'm not saying Sunday is like an end all, right? The end all be all for determining Kristaps' value. But what I am trying to say is, if Kristaps Porziņģis builds on what he did in the second half of tonight's game, and the Warriors can make it competitive Sunday against a powerhouse Nuggets team, and granted they're missing Aaron Gordon, but they're still kicking some serious ass. They still have Nikola Jokic. And if they can look good in that game, I'll buy a lot more into what you're selling. I really will.
Okay, 1 second then. But because that's my point. There's only 2 teams in the West that are really better than us come playoff time. If Curry's there, it's OKC and Denver. The rest, they can beat us, but it could be a 7-game series.
Okay.
So the way we were downplaying that whole team the whole time Jimmy was there and everything, it's like there's just 2 teams that could really like kill us, and not anything could happen. So that's the reason I was always a bit pissed of the like you said today. Oh, you want me to be happy? Yeah, because we have a good second half when we got beat and everything. You're right. Today was a total shit game.
Yeah,
I've been here for a month, but even when we had good game, we always spoke about the bad thing, the Porzingis, Porzinski's bad. Just let's go on to the next one. Let's see what we can do. You know, we won't get new player to this year, and the draft. Like, for all the people that are talking tanking, my number 1 point is I'm 100% with you, but then you need to trade Steph. Get what you want for Steph. Why Steph would stay there?
Why does it have to be an either or? What if Steph is comfortable?
If he doesn't care about sitting on the bench and losing by 50 points every night, good for him.
No, I'm not saying that either. Well, if he's injured, yes, but if he's healthy, I don't know if it should be an either or. Like, if Steph really wants to stay with the Warriors, and it sounds like he does, like, let him stay and help lead this next group who comes in. Side note, I also want to add this. I'm not disputing your opinion. I think you have a valid point that the Warriors front office is not to be trusted with draft picks. With that said, this draft, supposedly, if the people who study college hoops and
Supposed to
are
be
expert
deep.
scouts, and again, I'm going to be working on getting a lot of guests in the near future, because it's been some years since Warriors fans in a program like mine had any vested interest in young talent, right? Because the Warriors haven't been in the draft pick game, and now they're about to get back into it. So I'm going to get a lot of guests on this show in the near future to give us some decent analysis on who these players are. But if what these folks are saying is true, this draft is deep enough where I think even with an incompetent front office, you still roll the dice on a year like this if you can get like even top 10, top 15. There's just a lot of good talent, and you're not going to get that kind of talent in free agency because this team doesn't attract the top names. And not to mention, they built this dynasty through the draft. So I support going through that methodology again of achieving success. But I hear what you're saying too. You're saying don't tank because it's Stephen Curry's that good.
Well, if he comes back, if Steph is done, then go ahead because it's over.
That's fair. Then what I do hope is that the Warriors have a decent grasp of how serious the injury is, because the only person who really has the answer to that is Steph himself. But yeah, we shall see. And look, regardless, they're going to be in the plan. They're going to be in the plan.
But I was going to say one thing. Don't you think that maybe if they were already in a better position, maybe Steph injury is not that bad. They're just thinking, you know what? Whatever happened, we can probably stick to 8 and have the most healthy Steph Curry to play 40 minutes for the playoffs. Because anyway, he's done in a couple years. So that's why I was pissed when Sprewell, something that blocked me, was talking about injury. I was like, Steph's 36, 37. Like, he has to give it all. Why would he sit on the bench to just move on to another year? And just one other thing. From what I heard from a lot of like pro basketball player or person, it's supposed to be a real deep draft, but there's no clear there's no Cooper Flag type of guy. There's no player that next year will be the second option for Steph to be going all in.
Maybe I've heard that. Here's what the people that I trust have said. Take that for what it's worth.
No problem.
This is a deep draft. Meaning, like even if you don't get like a top 4 pick, the top 4 picks are supposedly surefire things. We've also heard that rhetoric before, and it turns out not true. But that this is also a draft where like the first 10, 15 picks are damn near can't miss. At a bare minimum, you're going to get a player who can service your squad in a role player
for the future
type situation, but be a damn good role player, right? Now, with that said, I've heard similar things to you that those top 4 picks. Some people say all 4 of them, like Armando Lore even did his research, and he heard something similar, that the top 4 picks are all like Cooper Flag types. And then there's the other folks who have done their research who are echoing your sentiments, which is none of them are like surefire Cooper Flag, Wembanyama types.
Because there's not much.
They're just a notch below that. So you're still getting someone who could end up being like a Jaylen Brown, for example, which would also be awesome.
Yeah, but not for Steph. So we forget about Steph then.
Again, it just depends on what Steph wants, right? I've never like again, I'm still of the belief, and no one has an answer to this. This is just me guessing, but I'm of the belief that next year is Steph's last year. And I know he just did an interview and said, you know, I can see myself playing for many more years and this and that. They all say that. They all say the same shit. Like, but I could easily see, especially with this runner's knee, injuries don't lessen as you get older. Like all that happens as you age is this stuff compounds. It grows in magnitude of every variable, whether it's length, the severity. So this runner's knee is a flag, man. It's a huge flag. Like, and we'll see. Like if Steph starts missing a lot of time like this consistently, I could very easily see next year being the last year. But it also concerns me because that probably means we're going to get one more year of this with Kerr back. Like I don't want Steve Kerr anywhere near whoever the Warriors draft. Like that alone scares the shit out of me.
Okay, but then again, if you have 2 minutes on that, I'd say if Steve Kerr was on a team that since the beginning he had to play with young player and develop them, I think it would have been different for some certain player. I think I'm not. I don't want to argue he's the greatest or anything. I'm just saying he was put in a position that you need to win every year. You have the greatest player on your team. I want him to score, win. And then to mix that with building young player. And there's one thing you said last time about the NBA doesn't develop player no more. And at a certain point, it's all like it's true. It's the professional. When I get my job, they're not there to. I'm not in school. They're not there to develop me. They'll give me tip. They'll help me, but they don't have time to show me the job. I went to school to get the job. They went to college to be a pro. So there's a mix of that I'm also
but that's
okay
where
with.
times have changed, Barber. Like they're like the kids are not learning the game in school anymore. They spend 1 year there just to show a glimpse. Kuminga didn't even do that at all. Some players just skip that altogether. Like those days are for the most part over. There are exceptions, clearly.
But that's an American problem because the AAU system is all fucked. They want stars that shine at 14 years old instead of learning them things.
Agreed. But that's also why it's that much more important for for an NBA coaching staff to have a focus on development.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, okay. In that way, yeah.
Like to me, it's about asset management, right? Like these players are all your team's assets.
Yeah.
And I follow what you're saying. Like you're making the case for accountability, and every individual, like it's up to them to maximize their potential and be the best they can be. I'm not disputing that. But what I'm adding to that is the team also has a responsibility to do the best they can to maximize the potential of the asset. Otherwise, that's poor asset management at that point. If all you're doing as a team, in other words, is it's on you, the player, and if you, the player, cannot maximize your potential, that's your fault, not ours. Okay, fine. But how are you helping yourself with that approach? Like, as the team, if you're not going to invest in developing the player, how does that help you? Like you're lowering your odds of achieving success playing the probability game doing that. So to me, it's both sides need to really be invested. But I don't know. That's me. Am I making sense? If you're still there, did I lose him? Shows he's still there. Barber, great conversation regardless. Try to come back Sunday. That was fun. And we'll stay on the Canadian tip by bringing on Kyoko, my favorite Spicoli type. Youngster. Kyoko, do we have you?
Yo, what's up, sir?
What's up, man? How have you been?
Good, you?
How's college?
It's tough, but we're ending in like a month and a half, so I'll see how
You're
that goes.
ending your quarter in a month and a half?
Yeah.
Okay, so 6 weeks. So your calendar is almost like the NBA season. Like your quarter will end right when the Warrior season ends and they get set for the play-in.
Yeah, like I get to watch the playoffs and like works, so it's kind of nice. Like I go home and just watch.
By the way, real quick, while I have you, Kyoko, a couple paid chats here. Sprewell was right. Armando, and again, every Friday is happy hour. We're going to do that show tomorrow. Usually we start at 5 p.m., tentatively speaking. And Professor, you and I will figure that out. But Sprewell was right. Subscribe to that channel. Side note on YouTube. Phenomenal content hosted by Armando, Laura, Evan. I think Giddings, is that your last name? I hope I got that right. Infamous TV and film writer. He's part of Taylor Sheridan's writing team. True story. And that's just part of the awesomeness with Sprewell was right. Go subscribe, please. And Armando, a $5 donation, writes, give Podziemski that extension. Double down on the Curry vibes era. Give the supporters what they want, in all caps. And I think a huge reason why he writes that is because he has been lately taking the reverse psychology route of PR, where he's basically saying the opposite of what he really wants because it's achieving results. Case in point, do not subscribe to Sprewell was right. Stay away from the channel at all costs. Give Podziemski that extension. Double down on Stevie Curry and Stephen Curry, or Stevie Kerr and Stephen Curry. I love it. So Armando, appreciate you. And one more Kyoko while you're here with me. A $4.99 donation from JJ Lee in our chat, writing, did you see Brian Windhorst completely switched tones on tanking because he wants to maintain relationships. Kayoko, do you know what he's referencing here? Because that is news to me.
No, I don't. I'll be honest.
So I think what and JJ Lee, if you don't mind following up, and you don't have to pay more money to expand a little more, but I'm curious to know what do you think Windhorst meant by that? Like are people basically in the NBA telling him to shut the F up? What are you inferring there? I'm fascinated. And Kayoko, what's on your mind, brother? Great to hear from you. And I'm sorry college is beating you up a little bit. If it makes you feel any better, you're young. That's the best gift you could have right now. So bravo. You can make a lot of mistakes and survive. You got boundless energy. You can still go out there and make crazy mistakes. And it's just a part of the fun. You're in a good spot. I know the studying part of college can be a bitch. I get it. Well, how are you doing, man? What's on your mind about the Warriors?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I was just gonna say a few things. So the first one is about Buddy Hield.
Uh-huh.
I was pretty hurt when they traded away Buddy Hield.
I'm sorry, man. Why? You like
because
Buddy?
No, it's just bro, okay, two things. One, I grew up with the KDs and the Isaiah Thomases and the Carmelo Anthonys, and Buddy Hield, he was in that middle ground, right? So to me, he's damn, I basically grew up watching this dude, right? So it's I didn't want to see him get traded.
So you felt nostalgic, like you're saying goodbye to an era of basketball players.
Yeah, because to me, Steph isn't really in my top 10, right? For me, it's
what do you mean?
Pascal.
What do you mean? Well, hold on. What do you mean by that? Steph is not top 10 all time to you?
No, he is. He easily is. But as my favorite players, I'm not really a Curry fan. I'll be honest, man. To me, it was the Isaiah Thomases, the Carmelo Anthonys, those two. Trae Young, KD. KD is actually the player that got me into basketball. So and yeah,
really?
Yeah.
So you got into hoops. So you're saying your earliest memories of basketball players, it was not Steph, it was Kevin Durant and Buddy Hield and Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas,
and not the old Isaiah Thomas of the Pistons. You're talking about the one with the Celtics and the Cavs, the guy who's 5'8", 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah. Him.
Interesting.
And then Damian Lillard, and it's bro, he tore his Achilles, and then Steph is probably retiring next year. So just wow, end of an era. And then KD is probably out as well, right? So
what are your thoughts? Since you love KD, what are your thoughts on the whole burner story?
It's for sure him, bro. I've been following his career closely, and his thing, when the media asked him about it, he's nah, I don't want to talk about it. This is that, and it just felt like a whole PR thing. But it's actually good that you brought that up, because I don't want to be that dude to talk about race, but he did briefly mention about Steve Kerr and how he only cares about a certain group of players, and I'm gonna read them out to you, right? Ty Jerome, Pods, I kind of noticed,
Well, did you read he did evoke the race card a little bit, because what he said about Kerr was ever since he got in the fight with Michael Jordan, he doesn't. How did he word it exactly? I can't remember, but he said basically that Michael Jordan put fear in him, is what he was insinuating, and that he would never get in a scrap with someone of a different ethnicity after that, and that was kind of crazy.
The thing is, though, if you look at all the players who he really, really liked, you kind of notice it. I'm not gonna lie, young, kind of cocky role players, white. They're not very they're just not very talented. They can kind of shoot, not starters, just role players, right? So like I kind of noticed that. I don't know if you did, but you've been watching this team like almost 3 decades, right? So I'm assuming.
Yeah, almost 4.
Okay, so there we go. And then
there, yeah.
And then on the Buddy Hield thing, all I'm gonna say is that I've noticed that like because Buddy is a movement shooter, he needs like a pure point guard, right? So when you have Pods next to him, that's why he looks awful and it makes Pods look way better. But then when it's, I don't know, like Pat Spencer alongside Moses Moody, it's okay. Like it looks okay. And yeah, and like
say that again one more time. You're saying when Podziemski plays with Moody, that looks good?
No. So okay, so here. My main issue with Pods is that he makes everyone worse because he's not a pure point guard, but he can't really shoot. So he's in that weird middle ground where he's not like yeah, like he doesn't have like a specific role, and it's like, why are people defending this kid?
I'm with you. I don't get it. Like the average Podziemski possession is he dribbles a lot. And then he just dribbles to a dead end where like he can't go anywhere anymore. And then he just passes it. And the pass is not like to set up a teammate. It's just passing to someone who's open. And then that person initiates the offense. That's every possession where Brandon Podziemski gets the ball. I don't get it, man. I don't.
For me, it's also, I don't know if you felt this too, but for me, it's also like his off court stuff, man. Like he was chirping at like Andrew Wiggins, and then it went to Clay. Then like instead of being happy that they won in like in Phoenix or almost won in the Cavs game, he was mad that he wasn't closing that game. He chirped at like Anthony Edwards. Like it's all these things that it's like, it kind of just shows that he's only in it for the money and like the fame, and I just don't like respect that, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. And I want to also add this. I just remembered there was a clip the other day. I forgot which game it was. Maybe it was the Lakers game where Draymond Green was having an animated discussion during a timeout on the Warriors bench. And this, I don't even know if discussion is the right way to describe it. It was basically Draymond just doing a lot of talking, not animated, but it was passionate, directed at one player. That was Brandon Podziemski. We don't know what the conversation was about or what he was trying to tell Podziemski. Maybe there was nothing negative to it, but it didn't look positive either. Like Draymond didn't look exactly like very pleased while whatever he was telling Podziemski in this timeout. And then tonight, we had a situation. This was the third or fourth quarter. I think it was the fourth quarter where Al Horford had a moment like this, where he suddenly is like just being very vocal. And this wasn't so much, I don't think this was at the bench area. I think this was on the court during one of the challenges and Kayoko, if you remember this moment as well, jump in. But Horford was again giving like this long speech to what looked like his teammates, but he only looked at one teammate the whole time, and it was Podziemski. He just kept looking right at Pods, and he's just like barking orders and almost, I couldn't tell if he was trying to coach him or if he was upset about something Podziemski wasn't doing. But that's like twice in a week now, or maybe twice in a week and a half now, where we've seen these veterans on the Warriors, Draymond and now Al Horford, giving these animated like lectures, both to Podziemski, and I'd love to know what they were saying to him, but. I don't know if it was a good look either. Maybe it was nothing too. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, bro. And like the weird thing about it is that like every time like I talk with people, it's always like, oh, like why do you hate him? Why do you hate him? And I'm like, bro, like I played basketball past like the high school level, bro. Like he has like a ton of holes in his game, bro. Like, and it's basic stuff. Like obviously I didn't play like D1, but like it's still crazy to me
It is
that
complicated. It's not, you don't need to have D1 experience to have observational skills about basketball, man. Like what are your friends like very casual observers? Because that's typically who ends up thinking that Podziemski, like most people, in other words, barely if ever watched the Warriors, and they think because Steve Kerr plays them that there must be something special about him. That goes back to what I keep mentioning in terms of Steve Kerr and his influence on the public. A lot of people have developed an inherent bias toward anything Steve Kerr does. Like if Steve Kerr doesn't like someone, you immediately have approximately 40% of Dub Nation and casual NBA fans jumping to a conclusion, oh, if Steve Kerr doesn't like this guy, must be something wrong with him. Flip side of that coin, if Steve Kerr does like somebody, you have that same crowd going, oh, if Steve Kerr likes him, there must be something special about this guy. And again, these are people that have paid zero attention to nuance and or just don't understand the game of basketball that well, because that's usually they sometimes go hand in hand, but it's usually one or the other. It's either casual observers who don't spend much time studying the game, and so in their eyes, not knowing all the facts, they just think, oh, Steve Kerr, he speaks well, he's charming, he won 4 championships, he must be right. And they're not paying attention to get to any of the details. Or you have the crowd who never play basketball themselves, so they don't understand there is a shitload of nuance to the game. Even if, just from the experience of playing in a gym, dealing with refs, having 4 teammates, having a coach, the whole dynamics and complexities of all the relationships that go into that. And those people who also understand that at the bare minimum, the fundamentals of the game, they also look at what's going on and they think to themselves, what is this? And then you have the folks who don't have that experience go thinking, oh, I just defer to Steve Kerr because I don't know shit, and he's a 4-time champion. So it's madness, man. Like, do your friends fit into one of those categories? Either they didn't play basketball and or they're casual observers?
No, so like I say about like 2 of them, they're like very, very casual, right? And a lot of it is always like, I'm like, bro, like, why do you like Pods, bro? Like, he's terrible. Like, this is that. And then they always like tell me stuff like, oh, well, he's trying. What's
Just respond. If anybody ever says that, just say, so what? Should the NBA start giving out participation medals? Is that where we're at? Like,
that's
okay,
my point.
Okay, look, here is to me is Brandon Podziemski's best trait, or he has 2 of them actually. One is the effort. He gives it his all every possession. And if the truly talented people of the NBA had his level of work ethic and passion for the game, those individuals would be achieving greatness. Like, there's no doubting that Podziemski gives a shit. And that's never been my critique of him. My critique of him is always he just does not have the tools. You have to have the God-given tools. And if you're an atheist, just replace that with you're born with genetic gifts that puts you at an advantage or disadvantage. You have to be born with that for the most part. Isaiah Thomas is an exception, but even Isaiah Thomas at 5'10" still had bounce and still had some crazy speed and was gifted in other ways. You have to have the gifts inherent to be successful at this game, and that's where Podziemski's lacking. And then the other part of his game, besides the work ethic, which I do think is admirable, is his durability. He's always playing. He toughs it out. I do respect the shit out of that. And I do think Steve Kerr, like, that weighs heavily into his decisions. Like, I do believe strongly that if Jonathan Kuminga, for example, did not miss those 31 games because of the ankle injury last year, and I'm not saying it's Kuminga's fault, but it was an injury. He missed over 30 games. And something tells me in Steve Kerr's mind, he's very no nonsense, meaning, like, I don't give a F what your injury is. You just missed 31 games. We needed you. We moved on. And I'm not supporting that mindset. I'm not supporting, leading like that. But I'm guessing that's how Steve Kerr rolls. And James Wiseman was another one, right? He got hurt a lot and just fell out of favor really fast. Moses Moody is, on the other hand, very durable. And again, I think that plays into a lot of this. And Brandon Podziemski's durability is impressive. Like, the only time I remember him missing games was because of the busted nose. And even then he was putting on the mask and doing all that shit. So there are two things that I think are very commendable for Brandon Podziemski: work ethic, durability. And those are huge. But again, he was not gifted with the athleticism that you need to be an NBA player. And there's nothing you can do about that. It sucks. Like Ty Jerome, to me, actually, like, his offensive skill set is solid. I don't know if he could do it at a high volume level. I don't know if he could do it consistency if he got the minutes. But Ty Jerome, like, defensively was ass. Like, the dude reeked of just utter just feces defensively. And that was an effort thing, man. Like, Ty Jerome, and this goes for most NBA players who are not good defensively. Like, defense is so much of an aggression thing, of an effort thing, of a I give a shit kind of thing, if that makes sense. And Ty Jerome just did not have that defensively. It was very sad. And so I moved on from that guy really quick for that reason. With Podziemski, I think it's more just he doesn't have the gifts. And so it's like, like, I don't know why Steve Kerr doesn't see that. Or maybe he sees it and doesn't care. And again, if that's the case, I don't know why he doesn't care. Am I making sense, Kayoko? What are your thoughts on everything I'm saying?
Dude, like, I 50-50, like, agree with you. I'm sorry about that, bro. What
don't you agree with?
So I completely agree. Like, obviously, like, every single person, like, at that, like, level has to be, like, talented, of course. It's actually have, like, an impact on the game. And obviously, like, IT, to me, like, he was my guy. But it's not like IT didn't work on those things. And I bring that up to say that Pods, like, it doesn't look like he's been working in the off season, man. Like, his numbers look way worse. Like,
and keep in mind, I'm not when I say work ethic, I don't mean like the practice time. I don't mean the minutes off the basketball court. I'm referencing strictly in-game action is what I'm trying to say. I cannot attest to what Brandon Podziemski does in his spare time. Like, I don't know if he's the first guy in the gym, each day at Chase Center, and the last guy out. When I say, maybe I should have specified more of the work ethic part of it. And maybe that's a poor choice of word, but when he's playing, he's usually very aggressive. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. He's just a very aggressive basketball player, and he's durable. Does that make sense? Is that more accurate, or do you still disagree?
Yeah, no. It makes sense, but see, to me, it's like with IT, like, he was levels above, like, Pods, right? Like,
Agreed.
He went from runner-up of, like, Rookie of the Year to 24 points per game, and then 26, and then, like, 28, and then Eastern Conference, like, finals, right? And I bring that up to say that with Pods, I think the reason why he actually looks way worse with each passing year is because from day one he was given, like, 28 minutes per game. He was constantly told that you're better than Jonathan. Moody isn't, like, on your like level, right? And maybe Kerr didn't word for words, like, tell him that, but it's definitely, like, implied just off of his attitude and his approach to the organization and to the game. And I'm bringing that up to say that when you have a player that's being told all these, like, lies and all this, like, deluded confidence, why is, like, I mean, would you practice every single day to try taking another dude's spot? No, obviously not, because you already have, like, a spot, right? Whereas with IT, it was like he was last pick in the draft, right? So it's like it's levels to it. Tyrese Maxey.
You're right. IT had nothing handed to him. He earned every step of the way was earned for him.
And it's sad how Danny Ainge, like, did him for Kyrie, just so Kyrie can get hurt and they get blown out. of the
and even
playoffs.
before that, though, I think it with the saddest part. You're right. Danny Ainge ultimately did not give him the contract that he was set to get, but that hip injury is ultimately what derailed him, right? Isn't that what ultimately prevented him from getting that $200+ million extension?
Yeah, but it was also his like loyalty because he loved the game, so he put his like body on the line.
Right.
And for him, he's like, okay, I've carried this bummy team to, like a deep playoff run against, I don't know, John Wall's Wizards when Wall was obviously in his prime, and then of course LeBron and like the Cavs, right? So to me, it's like, wow, like he went through all that. He's been an underdog, and even then, like he still got done dirty, and then was traded to the Nuggets, and then Phoenix, and then Lakers, and then Cavs, and then Hornets. So it was just like, I don't know, it kind of hurt. And like, do you agree with that? It's because I got one more
100%.
take.
And I think Kev F wrote it best. Like Isaiah Thomas had an MVP level season.
Yeah, and it's
peak.
and,
it was
and,
an unbelievable year, and it was multiple years. There was one in particular where it set him up to get a $200+ million contract, and then that damn hip injury. And you're right, he played through it. He should have rested instead of sucking it up, and that's the downside of being a player who just toughs it out no matter what. But yeah, Podziemski will never have an MVP level season. Like that's never going to happen.
Yeah, no. Obviously, it's like he's obviously very talented, but I just say that to say that,
Talented
like
in what?
Don't know, Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, I thought you were saying Podziemski. I'm sorry.
No, hell no.
What is he talented at? I mean, that's it. I guess that's the ultimate issue with Podziemski. Like, what about him is special? Like, taking charges should not be enough to earn like a new contract, man. He's not an elite shooter. He's not an elite passer. He's certainly not elite defensively. He's I guess he sets good screens for Steph. And to Steve Kerr, that's all that matters. I don't know, man. It is crazy. But anyway, Bad Ombre in the chat, by the way, adding that Cade Cunningham will likely be MVP this year. That depends largely on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who likely will meet the 65 game threshold. But me personally, like some people act like if Cade Cunningham wins MVP this year, it's going to be it's an outlandish idea, and that he doesn't deserve it. I say bull effing shit. I think even if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is healthy and meets the 65 game threshold, if I had a vote, I'm giving it to Cade Cunningham. He's awesome. We totally changed subject. Sorry, but or maybe not, because there were certain podcast hosts out there who moronically thought Podziemski would be better than Cade Cunningham. Those same dipshits coming out saying that they're shocked Kuminga supporters could afford NBA League Pass. A slightly veiled, not veiled comment rooted in classism, maybe racism. And these are the idiots that I'm competing with on a night-by-night basis. But I digress.
And then,
yeah,
there's like one more thing. Like,
please.
Sorry. So, like Jim Park.
Yeah.
He, like a lot of us were kind of like asking him, like, "Oh, are you still gonna, like be on YouTube after like Steph like retires?" And he said no, because Lacob doesn't deserve any of our times, yada yada yada. And
You really said that? How did you ask him that?
No, well, it was during a live. He streams like once a week, and everyone is like, "Go join like Golden Days. Go join it. Go join it." We were all like spamming it, and no, I mean,
keep going. I'm sorry.
I bring that up to say he's like, I've been on YouTube for a while, but if I do it, it's not going to be like on the Warriors, because to me, they're useless without Steph.
Dude, he was a Kings fan. He was a Kings fan until 2013. It's like, dude, I mean, whatever, man.
but like,
yeah. That dude's funny. Anyways, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
can you blame like all the fans? It's because, bro, like I be talking with people and they're always like, "Oh, I don't know how you watch the games, like Kyoko, like when Steph isn't playing." And I'm like, I mean, bro, like I still love basketball, but when the 2010s are like fully over, which like they're coming to an end, and right, because Melo isn't like in the league. Melo, to me, he was he was my goat along with Katie. Obviously, he's not deserving of it. He didn't really accomplish much aside from scoring titles and a robbed Rookie of the Year.
And a
But
college championship, which it was impressive. I actually remember watching that whole tournament. He won it for Syracuse.
of course, but like obviously with like the 2010s like coming to a close, do you
Well, you know they came to a close 6 years ago, right? I don't know what do you mean by that?
I mean like
2010s?
all the players, bro, like
Oh, the players of that era. You're saying that era is coming to an end. Okay.
yeah, like
Okay, sorry.
it's almost like completely over, especially after like Steph. So do
Yeah.
you blame like Jim Park for not necessarily, and everyone else who like thinks like that? Like
I
you know,
don't understand his perspective. I've been following the Warriors for I think about 40 years now, which is crazy, and it says a lot about how old I'm getting here. But so for me, it's like the Warriors were my team before Steph, right? Like for Jim Park, they were not his team before Steph. So I could eat, and a lot of people I think are like that. Like, and we call those folks bandwagoners, right? They jump on the bandwagon when things are amazing, and then when the bandwagon, reaches its destination, they jump off, and that's that. And Jim Park's a bandwagoner, and I think a lot of fans are bandwagoners, where they jumped on because Steph is that interesting and exciting and fun to watch. And so when his days are over, I think you're going to see a lot of people who lack authenticity and genuineness in their fandom of the Warriors, or even their passion and interest in covering them. You're going to see them bounce, but that's not the case with us. Like, again, I was covering this team professionally since 2000. And there were a shitload of lean years between two, and that's just for me as a professional, as starting as an intern in 2000 all the way up to where I'm at now. And so it's there. I'm ready for the lean years. I'm excited to cover young players who might be coming. I'm also, if there's any optimism, it's in the fact that the Warriors do not have a Chris Cohan as their owner, right? Like, their ownership, I hope, is still vested and interested. Joe Lacob does not exactly act like someone who's still preaching about light years and the braggadocio, the borderline arrogance. I'm not sensing that lately, and I kind of wish I was hearing that more often, because that guy wanted to win. And the current owner of the Warriors, same guy, but his behavior has changed, where now he's hiding from the media. He hasn't spoken publicly in almost a year. JK was his guy, and he just let him walk away for an aging big on the final year of his contract, a guy who has massive durability issues. So I don't know how serious I could even take his interest in the team right now. All I can hope for is that the Warriors have an owner who more resembles Eddie DeBartolo than Chris Cohan. And if that's true, and Joe Lacob is still vested, and he still cares, and he's just biding his time to wait for this era to end, because he doesn't want to offend people due to their love for Stephen Curry, and to an extension by default Steve Kerr, because a lot of people just associate those two together, which sucks, but they do. What I'm hoping for is that he's just kind of stuck in a position where he has to let that expire, like, organically, like, because he doesn't want to come off as the bad guy. Maybe he actually illogically trusts Steve Kerr, and he clearly likes him. Clearly, I mean, Kerr, I think, would be long gone if he didn't like him as a person still. So I'm guessing he still very much likes him. But look, we're not going to see real change and get excited about a future until this part's done. And I really wish Joe Lacob would separate Steph and Kerr. And he didn't have any problems separating Steph and Mark Jackson. And Steph loved Mark Jackson, but he forced that divorce and didn't seem to have any qualms about it. I don't know why he doesn't have that same ruthless approach to the modern team so that the team can continue to pursue greatness and achieve success. But I'm hoping, maybe delusionally, that when the Steve Kerr era is over, that we'll see that tenacious owner again who's hungry for wins and championships yeah, but we're not going anywhere regardless, Kayoko. And those folks, the Jim Parks and fans like that, we call them bandwagoners because that's literally what they are.
Man, I can't watch another year of Steve Kerr. I'm not gonna lie. I just can't.
Well, the good news is Joe Lacob is a businessman, so if it does spiral out of control, where a Steve Kerr coach team is not at least in playoff contention and they're just utterly bad, and people are tuning out where it starts affecting his pocketbook, I could see him making a change at that point. But I hear you, man. It's not a fun product. Like this Warriors basketball currently at 2026, we're recording this on February 19th, is not a good brand to watch. It's not very entertaining. In fact, a lot of it is very dull. It's borderline boring, man. It's not cool. And the sad thing is there are a lot of players on this team that could still make it interesting and entertaining. Podziemski sure as shit ain't one of them, though. I do not get that part of it at all. Like nothing about Podziemski's game rivets me. Nothing about Podziemski's game, makes me want more. My only feeling when I see him with the Warriors is, can we just get him off? Like, can we get that piece just out of the picture because there's other guys that are better? Like, that's all that goes through my mind when I see that dude playing on the court. I'm with you, and I'm trying to be optimistic. $5 donation from Spreewell was right with a theory. And when you get a theory from a tenured professor at UC Berkeley, at least my interest is piqued. So Spreewell was right. $5 donation. Side note, go subscribe, please, or don't subscribe. He doesn't want you subscribing. Don't subscribe to Spreewell was right. Great channel on YouTube. With a theory. Here's the theory. A lot of Kerr fans are hanging on to Stephen Curry early playoff exits. Oh, this is a good one because they know they won't be fans when he's gone. They won't get excited about drafts and about the team and etc. Yeah, that's a borderline myopic take, but also I think very accurate. Kayoko, do you agree with that sentiment?
I kind of do, but wait, do you think like they're gonna extend Kerr? I don't know if they will.
Keep going the way it's been going for the last 2-3 years, which is he's going to get the equivalent of what Michael Jordan used to get in his final few years playing basketball, where Jordan, like I think the last 3 years of his career with the Bulls, would just take 1-year contracts. And there were always these exorbitant amounts. Back then he was getting, I think, like 30 million, 35 million a year. Back then those were like insane numbers. Now it's like kind of still high, but it's not Stephen Curry's 60 plus or Devin Booker who's going to like make 70 plus, I think, starting in a year or two. But my point is, Steve Kerr, I think he's just going to keep doing this year by year thing. And again, that's a huge payday for ownership to cough up. And maybe that's another thing we could wish for is ownership looks at that $20 million price tag that Steve Kerr incurs on the bill, because that's how much he maybe it's like 18, 19 million, whatever it is, but it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for a guy that just goes, you go in, you go out. Like that's all he does. You get in there. Okay, guys, come on. Let's stay passionate. So let's stay engaged. Okay, guys, how about we do a full court press? All right, guys, $20 million a year for that. For a job that a lot of us are looking at and thinking, we can do better than that. I want $20 million so I can tell certain people to play and not play. maybe that'll prevent the Warriors from re-signing him. I don't know, but I don't see like long-term extensions. I think it's going to be a year-by-year thing, and maybe Kerr's doing that because he's reading the writing on the wall, which is this thing's coming to a near end, and maybe the team won't give him an extension, a long-term extension. That could be the situation as well. But my prediction is it's a year-by-year thing, and if Stephen Curry implores another year of Steve Kerr, sadly, that probably will happen. But I'm going to remain hopeful that it won't. We'll see.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Kerr reminds me of Eric Spo. Like a lot of his coaching, a lot of his like DMPs. It's very, very close to Spoelstra. If
I
you've
would
ever
never
watched the
agree
Heat.
with that until this year, because I've heard that Spo is giving Khalil Ware a similar type of treatment that Steve Kerr gave to Kuminga, where the minutes are limited and some fans are griping. But before this, but that's the only example of where I see similarities. Eric Spoelstra is a grinder. Eric Spoelstra is a workaholic. Eric Spoelstra is like Heat culture is a very real thing. Although then again, you look at the Warriors and they're still like putting out effort. Like the players have not quit on this team for what it's worth. But I don't agree with that comparison. But that's just me. It's just my opinion. Just one opinion against another's. Who gives a shit?
I mean, he runs like a 4-guard lineup as well, and it's
Are
like,
they doing that right now?
yeah, they typically do for some reason. I don't know why, and it's just like a fast-paced offense. Every single time it's against Kerr or other teams. But to me, I bring that up because it's like a lot of the stuff that happened with the Heat is kind of happening with the Warriors. So
you know who reminds me more of Steve Kerr? It's not Spo as much because I feel like Spo actually coaches. Like the comparison to me is more so Pat Riley. In the sense that I feel like the owner of the Miami Heat has, and I forgot his name, Mickey Arona or something like that. Like he's entrusted everything with the Miami Heat to Pat Riley, and you got, and he's got the nickname the Godfather. And Pat Riley as a coach was ingenious. The guy was incredible, but and his fingerprints are all over the place. I don't know how Miami Heat fans feel about Pat Riley currently, but the trust that the ownership gives him, I'm getting that same vibe with Lacob and Kerr, and I'm really bummed about that. Side note, I really hate that. Like, but that's the vibe I'm getting. Is that what's the name of the Heat's owner? Let me look that up real quick. But I feel like in the same vein of trust that the Heat's owner has with Pat Riley, where he just is like, I'll step back, you run this thing. Mickey Arison. I feel like that's the trust that Joe Lacob has with Steve Kerr, and it's crazy.
I mean, to me, like I bring that up, it's because both Kerr and Spo have been in the same organization over a decade, play-in team, and as well as poor roster construction. To me, Pat Riley isn't a Mount Rushmore of GM, right?
No.
Because of what has he accomplished since
As
Braun
a coach, yes.
and Wade.
You're right. As a front office executive, there's been a lot of mistakes. As a coach, he's on my Mount Rushmore, though. But I'm with you. And again, I go back to the fact that even though Steve Kerr keeps preaching that separation of powers bullshit, where he keeps saying I'm not the GM, every decision is run by him. And you look at the way this roster is constructed, this is a Steve Kerr team. Like no GM in their right mind ever aims for the shortest team in the NBA a status, which the Warriors routinely achieve. I don't know if they're still the shortest. I should look that up. Now that you got Kristaps Porziņģis, but they were. And that doesn't make sense. But that's what Joe Lacob keeps doing. He just keeps doubling down and going, hey, Steve Kerr's my coach. I trust him. Hey, well, Steve Kerr wants this guy. I trust him. It's like, God damn, dude.
Out of all the players that they traded, it happened to be JK and Buddy Hield, right? So over pods. So
well, maybe no one wants pods. That could have been a factor in it.
Why
too.
don't they just waive him?
Well, that's a good question. He's going to be up, I think, for wait, is he under contract next year? Hold on, let me find. But the Warriors, at least from a really quick Google search, are listed as the shortest NBA team. Let me find an actual source. So the courtesy of bookies.com, the Warriors' average height of a player is 6 feet 5.9 inches, and that represents the shortest team in the NBA. You know who the second shortest is? Can you guess? Miami.
I knew it, right? See, yeah.
Miami.
I'm
Anyways,
telling you, man, they run all those stupid lineups, and they make Wiggins at the 4, and it's like, dude, it's like Steve Kerr all over it. Like
You're
if you
right,
just
you know,
watch
you're
a Heat
right.
game.
Is that what they're doing? They're playing Wiggins at the 4 in Miami.
Yep.
That's. Oh, are you friends with Heat fans? And if yes, are any of them cool with that?
No, I don't actually know any Heat fans, but I used to be like, I mean, I'm still kind of like very into like the NBA. Like it's not only like Warriors.
But
Like
I'll
I
say
also
this, man.
watch
The Heat, I would take Jaime Jaquez Jr. over Brandon Podziemski all day, every day. Like the Heat had one pick ahead of the Warriors in that draft. They drafted Jaquez, Warriors drafted Podziemski. And to me, Jaime, it's like not even a debate. I don't know if you agree with me on that or not, but I think
obviously.
Jaime
No,
Jaquez
obviously.
can end up being a player. What's up?
I said, yeah, no, like obviously, and look, man, like human error is real. It's impossible to get like a great draft pick every single year. But if you look at like Sam Presti, it's like, man, like he's drafted like what, 3 MVPs in the span of like a decade, or four MVPs all in a decade, right?
Who is that?
Sam Presti.
Well, yeah, look, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The easiest strategy, the most obvious strategy if you're Joe Lacob in terms of a rebuild, is to bribe Sam Presti away from OKC. Open up your pocketbook, give him Steve Kerr's $20 million. That's $20 million right there. You can turn around and give to someone who actually deserves it. Give him more than that. Give him a house in Pack Heights in San Francisco, a mansion. Do whatever you got to do to get Sam Presti running your ship. That's what I do.
Because for us, like I know a lot of people liked Myers, but to me, I didn't really respect how he drafted all those players and then just left. I get it, like he didn't see eye to eye with Kerr. But to me, it's like if you're gonna draft all those players and then just quit and then start like this 2 timeline plan, I don't know. I just don't respect that. I don't know if you're cool with that.
Chat, adding, isn't it proving something that the smallest team is top defensively? Not really, when you consider the fact that this team was top, meaning they were top 5 before Jimmy Butler went down. And you also still had Draymond Green, who was much more engaged. You have players like you have a lot of like Moses Moody, who has a 7'1" wingspan, who's making a huge difference out there defensively. Not to mention they're 9th. I don't know if you're calling that top. You're top 3rd. But 9th is not like 5th or 3rd or 1st. So a little hyperbolic there. And again, Jimmy Butler made a huge difference. Like him being gone, Jimmy Butler's like 6'7", so he's not exactly a huge player, but he's still going to improve your team drastically defensively. Kayoko, any final thoughts? I want to start wrapping up the show here, brother. We've been going pretty long.
No, man, just enjoy your night, and I'll be back like whenever. So yeah,
come back whenever. Yeah, the door's always open, man. Great to hear from you. How's the weather right now? Is it freezing?
Man, a few weeks back, it was like minus 40 a week straight.
What's it now?
Right now, it's not too bad. It's like minus 10, 5, 0, right? Like, it's okay.
Like we're finally experiencing winter here in Northern California. I don't know if you heard that very tragic news. 8 skiers dying a few hours east of us in the Sierras because of an avalanche. I mean, that was a crazy story, but yeah, like freeways are shut down, going to Tahoe, and it is cold here. That's why I'm wearing my hoodie tonight, representing my alma mater, SDSU, the Aztecs, Aztec for life. As someone in the chat brought up earlier, Kawhi Leonard's alma mater. We don't have a lot of players from there that we're proud of, but Kawhi is one of them. Marshall Faulk, I think, is another headliner of Aztec greats. And yeah, it's been cold. That's here in Northern California, but it's still probably nothing compared to what you're experiencing in Ottawa. Kyoko, hang tough. Your quarter's almost done. And then do you have any big plans for spring break, travel-wise?
No, I'm just planning on working. I got some stuff I got to pay off. So,
geez, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, the economy's a struggle everywhere. I feel you on that.
It's too much, man. It's too much. I want to be a kid again.
Graduate?
So, see, really, I'm supposed to graduate in like 2 years, but I'm planning on at least doing like a master's, man. So
good. That's good, because I was going to advise you, like, this is one of the worst times possible to graduate. I have a shitload of sympathy for new college grads, because I don't know what you're doing. I have no idea what there are no jobs for you. This is a really depressing scene. And so if you can stay in school as long as you can, do it. I think that your plan to get a master's, great. And just hope that when you do graduate, there will be a hiring sector waiting for you. I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, and it's also because like I also like want to branch out. It's not only like a master's. I want to maybe go into like pop health, right, or medicine or anything like that.
Cool.
But to me, like, it's not paid off, right? So I'm gonna have to like take at least quote unquote like a gap year and get more money, and then hopefully I could at least pay a tiny bit off, right? So that's my plan. So really it's gonna be like a while, but I'm okay with it, right? Because the economy, like the value of a dollar, it's not what it was 10 years ago. I can guarantee you that much.
No, the value of the dollar is, everything's bad right now, man. It's yeah. Let's hope things shift soon. I was just having a long discussion with one of my oldest friends earlier today about like I forget. I'm like getting into politics here. I was gonna say, like, the fact that interest rates have not gone down for housing is one of the stupidest things I've seen in recent history. If you're trying to make the economy better, that would be one of the first things you do, is lower those interest rates. But our Fed is holding steady because they rely on dumb models and from textbooks and and it's not reflecting reality. There are just a lot of people who are very out of touch in this world. Like, the gap between those who have and those who are struggling has never been bigger. So I have so much sympathy if you're out there struggling right now, because I know there are a lot of you, and this economy sucks, man. I do hope things turn around soon. And I wish you the best, Kyoko. Stay in school. It's a good idea at this point. Just no rush. Take your time and have fun. All right, don't forget to do that. Okay.
I thank you. You too.
You're only young once, man. That's it. Just once, and you're young right now. Take advantage. Just don't jeopardize your health in the process. Long-term health. Just stay healthy. Don't make mistakes that'll follow you the rest of your life. And but have some fun, man. You're young.
All right, see you, bro.
Always a pleasure, brother. That's Kyoko. We're almost there. How do I pronounce your name? Gish? How do I pronounce it, sir? Or miss?
GHJK75.
GHJK75. It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue easy, but we'll go with it. GHJK75. How are you doing, man? What's on your mind?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
All right, brother. All right, man. What do you feel like talking about tonight?
You know, in the words of Steph, what's so bad with tanking? You know, what's wrong with tanking?
Right. Exactly. So you're pro tanking. Is that what I'm guessing here?
Well, I think fans care more than Steph about winning, and I think he kind of just spoke to that. So I just thought that was kind of funny that he brought that up, that, hey, we should tank. But, fans get on these platforms every night and complain about how the team is losing. But it's actually productive for the team to lose. So it's kind of ironic and funny.
I would be a lot more I'd be a lot happier if I got the sense that they actually wanted to tank, but I don't think that that's the plan. I really do think they're trying. And that's what's really disappointing, because you're right, man. Like if you want to tank, keep playing Podziemski. Bravo. So maybe as Julian said way earlier, that's a silver lining in the Podziemski minutes. It fits with the tank.
Right. Well, I think overall the organization is very delusional. And I think that starts with Steph. I think he gets coddled by Kerr.
Was that you in the chat tonight who was focusing on Steph as being the problem?
Yeah. I mean, I remember a couple weeks back, Armando brought this up as well, where, I grew up where you blame the best player. You don't blame the coach. You don't blame the supporting cast. You don't blame ownership. It really falls on the superstar and what they want and what's around them. I mean, they're doing everything that they can to make him happy. So the things we see, Draymond still being around, Pods playing extra minutes than he doesn't deserve. All of that is to keep Steph happy. So if you're really going to be mad at anyone about the things that are going on with the organization, you got to put the pressure on Steph. And I feel like that's why there is no traction, is because a lot of these fans are like Jim Park fans. They're just Steph fans. They're not really trying to make a difference for the organization. They're trying to do what everyone else is doing, make Steph happy.
Here's the thing, man. If it came out that like, for example, let's go back to the Kuminga thing. Sorry to bring that topic up again. I know it's old now, but you don't learn how to avoid making mistakes in the future if you don't revisit the past. And with the Kuminga thing, like, there's this notion from a lot of people that Steph signed off on the DNPs, on the treatment, and that, at least from everything I've researched and everybody I've talked to, and to the best of my knowledge, and I could say I'm like 99% certain, but unless we hear it from Steph himself, it can't be 100. That Steph is you could blame him for complicity, meaning like you could blame him for just going along with whatever his coach does. But he's not telling Kerr like who to play and who not to play, right? Like, he's like, there's no communication from Steph in terms of minutes and shit like that. Like, Steph is a busy dude, and he trusts Kerr to make the best decisions for him and the team. And I think you're right. Like to a large extent, he probably should speak up, and he's choosing not to because he doesn't want to choose. He doesn't want to create drama. That's just not his cup of tea, man. It's like conflict and making noise like that. It's just not who he is as a person. But at the same time, with him not speaking up, it emboldens Steve Kerr to walk around, with his chest puffed out, thinking he's responsible for this whole thing. And that's one of many things that bothers me about Steve Kerr, is he does roll like that. In Steve Kerr's mind, he thinks he's responsible for the dynasty. He thinks, and he's never going to say this publicly when it comes to Steph, but he thinks that Steph took this leap because of him. Like, he thinks he has the same effect on Michael Jordan that that he has the same effect on Stephen Curry that Phil Jackson had on Michael Jordan, right? And he acts the part. He plays the part. And that ego turns me off tremendously. But then we also see like how wrong he routinely is with rotational decisions, and he has a track record of not being successful when it comes to evaluating personnel. Case in point, his failed stint as GM of the Suns. But I feel you, and I just look, if it's I guess it's hard for someone like me, or just me, period, that to go in on Steph, right? Like because I credit Steph for all the success. Like, to me, it starts and ends with Stephen Curry, man, and everything else was a complementary piece to his greatness that made this all work. But I'm also completely with you that if Steph wants a 5th championship, he has to start taking some accountability here for everything that's going on. And I just don't think he ever will. And it's a tough one, man. It's a very tough one when it comes to Steph.
Yeah, you know, it's not part of Steph's brand. He's definitely not going to be that guy. So you know, I don't blame him for that. He doesn't want that to be a part of his legacy, and you know, he does a great job of keeping his hands clean. I'm not mad at him for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, to speak on his brand, an interesting point. Do you think that how much money do you think Steph stands to make in his new shoe contract? And this kind of leads into Kuminga.
Like $1 billion, something close to that.
Right.
I also don't know. I'm not like an expert. I'm not an expert on the shoe business. I just see all the money being thrown around. But then there's also the counterpoint to that. So maybe I'm contradicting. I'm going to take back my guess, because you also have Armando Laura, who again joins us tomorrow, joins us every Friday, who is literally a tenured UC Berkeley professor studying global finance. Like, economics is his game.
Yeah.
And he keeps raising a very important point about Steph, which is that if he had the pool in terms of shoe sales, and if he was as marketable as we think he is, the Under Armour deal would not have collapsed.
Right.
Like, Under Armour would not have said peace to Stephen Curry, right? Like, if Stephen Curry could sell shoes that easily, like, and I know Under Armour needs to take a lot of accountability here as well, but I don't think that helped Steph's image. Now, with that said, if we found out that Nike's going to give him like $1 billion deal for the next 10 years, I would not be surprised. If we found out it's $500 million over 10 years, I wouldn't be surprised. If it was like $100 million for like 3 years, whatever we find out, I don't think any of it's going to surprise me. But I also, you know, maybe it's not $1 billion, maybe it's like $100 million. It's a shitload of money, whatever it is. But what do you think? Maybe your opinion's more valid here.
It's probably close to $1 billion, and I agree with Armando. I mean, I don't think Steph is as marketable as he could be, or maybe should be. But
maybe it was Under Armour. Maybe the problem is Under Armour, that people just in general are not comfortable with that brand, and maybe Steph with Nike will launch him. I don't know, but then again, there's also like, does Stephen Curry at 39 sell shoes?
I think he's trying to sell shoes. I think he wants to sell shoes. I think he's trying to get a new brand deal and make himself more marketable. And I think that, you know, nurturing Jonathan Kuminga's career is going to get in the way of the attempt at making Steph more marketable. I think playing with a bunch of hobbits, as you described, opens up the floor. A whole bunch of hobbits that are dedicated to passing the ball to Steph.
No, Tattoo, calm down, man. He's not talking about you.
Now we don't have to worry about
different show, different movie, but Tattoo could pull.
Oh yeah, no, little people. My bad.
Little people. No, Hobbit's fine. It's not offensive. But Tattoo's not a Hobbit. But he wanted to chime in and say, "Hey, I'm small, but I'm not a Hobbit." Anyways, he's actually smaller than a Hobbit, I think, in real life. Go ahead. I apologize. That was
no problem. But you know, I think that if you're gonna get in the way of that, that's not gonna help Steph get that $1 billion. That's not gonna help the Warriors sell those potential shoes in, you know, their arena and fan stores and online store. So I think that there's a lot at stake with this shoe deal and making Steph more marketable and helping him, you know, do what he wants to do at the end of his career. So I think that that's the number one priority for the organization. They're not dedicated towards winning. And I think Joe's kind of hand strapped by that. Like, I think there's not really much he can do in this situation other than
hold on a second here. Dude, from Money Checkup, Stephen Curry's going to get a $2 million deal from Keds.
I have no idea what
Back to you. Keds is like, I don't even know if Keds still exists. They were a shoe company, a very cheap ass shoe company. I'm guessing they went out of business. Sorry, go ahead, man. That was more shitty humor as we start to wrap up the show. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think that's the overall goal for the team. I think it's the get out in a body bag program, as Armando describes. But the overall goal of doing that is to glorify Steph and the end of his career. I mean, he's kind of going out like Kobe You know, he's going to do it his way or the highway kind of thing, and that's going to be his legacy. And you know, it's about Steph's legacy at this point.
It just sucks. Like the Lakers had no problems moving on from Phil Jackson. The Lakers had no problems saying goodbye to Pat Riley. You know, the Spurs and Pop, that's a different story. Like Pop was staying there until he literally couldn't even like function anymore. That was kind of sad, but that's literally what happened. I mean, the dude stroked out, and that's how his coaching career ended. I wish Joe Lacob had it in him to cut that cord, because
I think he will
think
at the end of this
it would
season.
benefit Steph bigger picture. I really do, man.
Yeah, no, I think he will at the end of the season for sure. He's
hope
going to
so.
do that. No, he's going to do that.
So.
He's
I
gonna
was
call
on that
Steph's
train
cards.
confidently until about a month ago. Now I don't know, man. I dread the possibility of Steve Kerr coming back another year, and the fact that you might have a decent draft pick under his wing to get damaged again. Oh God damn it! Like, yeah,
I think the most concerning thing is that Steph is saving himself for a playoff run to try to save Steve Kerr's career. I think that's the scariest thing, is he's going to try to do a 2014 all over again and save Steve Kerr this time.
Let's do a quick update on the standings while I have you, because right now, and I want to do this partly to take a look at what the play-in picture would look like if the season ended today. And so right now the standings, well, let me see if I have a graphic. Hold on one second here. Forgive me. But I just want to do this exercise because the play-in tournament should be interesting. Oh, here it is. Here we go. I found the graphics. Good. Okay, so here are the standings in the Western Conference. We will not give a flying F-bomb about the Eastern Conference. But here in the West, if you're watching this on YouTube, you should be able to see the standings right now. And if you're listening to the podcast, to summarize, the Warriors are currently 3 games back of the 7 seed Phoenix Suns in the loss column. The Phoenix currently is 32-24, Warriors 29-27. The Warriors now only have a 1-game lead over the 9-seeded Clippers. The Clippers are just 1 back in the loss column with 28 losses. And then to put the Warriors in an even more precarious position, the Portland Trailblazers are now just 2 games back of the Warriors in the 10 spot. So there is a very real possibility that as we creep toward the end of the season, you're going to have the Warriors in the 10 spot. Side note, I love it. I hope that happens because you're going to have a better draft pick than Portland and the Clippers, in addition to whatever other teams you'll have a better draft pick than in the East if you finish with the worst record. But you'll also more likely get into the lottery by losing the play-in. And the way, let's say if the season ended today, the way it would work is the 7-seeded Suns would host the 8-seeded Warriors in Phoenix. The winner of that game would get the 7 seed. The loser of that game would then play the winner of the Clippers and the Trailblazers in the 9-10. The loser of that game between the Clippers and the Trailblazers is out. Okay? 9-10 in the play-in is single elimination. 7-8 is double elimination. So let's say the Warriors are the 8 seed. They lose to Portland. Then they play, let's say for the sake of argument, the Clippers. Let's say the Clippers beat Portland. And then the winner of that game would be the 8 seed. The loser would go home. If the Warriors drop all the way to 10, the likely scenario is they play a single elimination road game in Portland, and Portland has already beaten the piss out of the Warriors this year. Portland finished the year 3-1 against the Warriors. The one game that Golden State won, Denny Avdia and a whole bunch of other players were out. Donovan Clingan, I think Clingan actually played, but the Blazers had a lot of dudes who were out for that one. Jeremy Grant, another player who was out. So that's where we stand. GHJK75, your thoughts on where the Warriors are in terms of seeding? if you're still with me. Where'd you go? Did I do that? GHJK75, you're back.
Oh, where I think they're at. Yeah, thank you. I don't know what happened, but
I don't know.
I think that they should just continue to lose if they can. But I think that they're gonna try to win as many games as possible. I think they have a lot of pride in that organization from what they've done in the past. I think they do know how to win. It's just Steph Curry eats up too much money and Jimmy Butler eats up too much money. So they can't really put together a competent roster around those guys. So you got to do what you can with what you got.
Yeah. That's crazy. I don't know what Portland's here. Let me look up the strength of schedule. There are a few websites that incredibly provide that number regularly. And I'm curious, but the number changes a lot too. So according to ESPN, the Warriors currently have the 8th most difficult strength of schedule. But that doesn't factor tonight, though. So maybe it just got a little easier because Boston is a pretty good team. But meanwhile, Portland currently has the 2nd most difficult strength of schedule. And the Clippers currently have the 5th most difficult strength of schedule. So maybe the Warriors might hold on to that 8th seed.
Yeah, the Clippers are going to tank for sure. Portland, I don't know. It depends. If Dame comes back, I can see them trying to make a run. A lot of these teams.
Wait, who? Dame?
Yeah, if he, he just competed in the 3-point contest.
But I don't think that means he's going to play this year. Maybe I'm wrong. Have you heard different?
I've heard some of these guys are like kind of waning on maybe coming back or deciding if the team like Jason Tatum might come back or DeJounte Murray is about to come back. Kyrie, I think Kyrie could play, but he just shut himself down.
He did. He did.
Guys like Trae Young and Anthony Davis, they could play right now, but they're just kind of trying to figure out what the organization is trying to do. I think a lot of these teams are better than the Warriors. It's just the organizations have their own agendas going on where they might shut guys down and, see what they can get in the draft.
Way earlier in the show, Jay Lee wrote, did I see Brian Windhorst switching tone on tanking because he wanted to maintain relationships? And I asked him to follow up on that. And JJ Lee added that that Windy apologized to the Jazz owner publicly. So that tells me that the Utah Jazz front office did not appreciate Wendy's reporting, I guess. I don't know. It's a weird situation. True Mentality writing in the chat. Not sure if anyone brought this up. Has anyone mentioned that Moses Moody might have been off because he feels weird about the way Kuminga was traded? Maybe it's throwing off his game. Maybe. I don't know. I do know they were close. So but then again, Podziemski and Kuminga were close, so I don't know. I have no idea.
I think your last caller kind of explained what's wrong with Moody. He plays really well to start games with Pat Spencer. It's just when he starts playing with pods, he's just you're not going to be able to get a rhythm. You're not really playing focused offense. So
you might be right.
Just trying to figure things out as the game goes on.
You might be right, man. You might be right. Roman Hernandez in the chat saying the Clippers have the Pacers first round pick. I believe it is and Julian Bashir first nailed this. It's and he was accurate. It's protected 1 through 4 and 10 and beyond, meaning and that's one of many things I think the NBA is going to change with their tanking rules is they're going to stop allowing protected picks except for very unusual circumstance. I think they're going to allow like top 4 protected, and that might be it, which will simplify offseason transactions as well. But So the way it works is if the Pacers pick falls between 5 and 9, the Clippers get it. If it's 1 through 4 or 10 and lower, then that pick rolls over to 2031 and becomes unprotected. I think that's how that works. But anyways, any final thoughts? GHJK75. Where are you? Are you in the Bay? Where are you joining us from?
Yeah, man, I live in Oakland.
Dude, that figure skater's from Oakland. The one who got the gold medal. What's her name?
I think it's like Ashley Lou or something like that.
Yeah, Lou. She's Oakland. She's an Oakland native, man. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. No, Bay Area, stand up, shout out.
I'm feeling more and more loyalty to the East Bay and the North Bay, and I'm starting to kind of like get a little disappointed in the Peninsula and South Bay. I feel like that's become like the out of touch elite region of the Bay Area, whereas the East Bay and the North Bay still have us grounded, down to earth, non-privileged folks surviving here in the Bay, repping our home. I could also be totally off base with that, but that's just how I feel about things lately in this messed up world. Congrats on being I love Oakland is an amazing city. Chardal, our closer, adding it's Elisa Liu is who won the gold medal. So there you go. GHJK75. I don't have any thoughts on Roman Hernandez, who asks about the 2026 draft class. We talked about this at length earlier in the show. The only guy that I'm down on is the Kansas player. I forgot his name. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is it Peterson?
Peters or it's here, I'll find his name. I can find his name right now.
Yeah, ejected by his coach. Is that what you're talking about?
Peterson. Here it is. It's Darren Peterson. I'm very concerned about him because I was watching, and props to NBA on Today on ESPN for giving some coverage to this, because I'm starting to do my research now on these young players. And Darren Peterson is a guy who can come into the NBA next year and immediately start averaging 20 points a game, like right off the bat. That's how good he is. Kansas played Oklahoma State yesterday, and Darren Peterson scored 20 of his 23 points in the first half, but he only played 3 minutes of the second half with a cramping issue. And what raises concerns is that Peterson took himself out of the game. Like, this wasn't like he talked to the coaches and talked to the medical staff and they decided the best thing was for him to sit out. No, he took the initiative to take himself out of the game. And his coach, Bill Self, who's very well respected in the college ranks, the way he spoke about it wasn't encouraging either. And there's two players in recent history, and part of the problem is, real quickly here, is that Darren Peterson, this is not the first time he's done this. Apparently there have been a lot of games this year where he's just taken himself out to preserve his health, right? And I think cramping's been the primary excuse that Darren Peterson has been using to miss these games. This wasn't a one-off, is what I'm trying to say. Let me see if this story that I'm looking at has some more information so I can give you a clearer picture on this. It does not. Hold on, I'll just look at his box scores. Screw it. But the point I'm trying to make is that he apparently has missed a lot of games. I'm looking at his game log right now to see how many games he's played in this year. So he's played in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15. So he's played in 15 games this year total. And his Jayhawks have played a total of, 26 games. So he's only played in 15 of the team's 26 games. And that's just off me doing some quick math during a live show. Let me just double check this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 50. Yeah. So he's played in 15 of 26 games, and the 11 games he's missed are for the same reason, because he took himself out for various small injuries, like minor injuries. Cramping, I think we can safely say, falls in the category of a minor injury, right? There's no lasting damage. It's something that happens in the moment that you can treat. It's a common occurrence with most human beings. It's usually tied into dehydration. Not always. There's a myriad of causes for it. But two other guys in recent history were prized prospects going into the NBA draft, and they would pull similar shit like this, where they were not reliable. They'd make up a lot of excuses to miss games. One of them was Ben Simmons of the Philadelphia 76ers. And we saw how that went. The other one was Markelle Fultz, who pulled this shit a lot when he played for the Washington Huskies. And we saw how that went. So my point is, like, it's not a good pattern, and it's not a good track record when in terms of seeing these progenies who just do not show you that they're durable, and do not show you that they can play heavy minutes, they can play consistently. And my point here, what I'm trying to make, and I'm sorry if I'm not being fully coherent, but my point here is Darren Peterson of the Kansas Jayhawks. He's one of these four players that's considered like a surefire bet, borderline guaranteed NBA talent. I don't want him. Okay, like if the Warriors magically luck out and get a top 4 pick, don't take him, is what I'm trying to say. Don't get yourself another Markelle Fultz. Don't get yourself another Ben Simmons. Avoid that, please. Even though this kid has insane talent and can drop and can come in the NBA and just immediately become a 20-point-a-game scorer, be your rookie of the year. But I do not want a player who just magically decides, I'm not feeling it tonight. Like, hell to the no on that, man. I need a player who is going to want to be there every night, who will never find excuses to miss playing time. And basically, I want a guy who's as committed as Podziemski. Like, it's such a shame that Podziemski does not have the physical gifts to be a real NBA player. And it's such a shame that Steve Kerr ignores that vitally important part of it. But in terms of aggression, and again, we don't know what Podziemski's work ethic is, so maybe he's a bad example in general when it comes to practice and otherwise. But I want a guy who's going to be there every night. I want a guy that I could rely on. I want a guy who's committed. And Darren Peterson does not give that impression. So, and I haven't done any research on the other three. I know that guy in BYU is amazing. I know the other two guys are amazing. Again, we'll get into the. All right, have you done your research on these guys?
Not really. I mean,
Same.
I know a guy. He's gonna go to the Jazz. There's no way he's not gonna go to the Jazz. But the other guys. It's funny. I mean, I think Darren Peterson sounds like a 17, 18-year-old millionaire. I think these NIL deals are going to cause a lot of Darren Petersons to pop up. I mean, it's happening a lot in football. There's not a lot of loyalty to any organization. You guys transfer every year nowadays in football. So I think you're going to see stuff like that in basketball, especially because they control a lot more of the game in basketball, especially if you're like supremely talented, like a Darren Peterson is. You need him. It's not like.
And then AJ DeBonsa is the guy with BYU, and he looks legit. Like, that's a big who's going to fill out and be a future All-Star. And again, I don't know enough about him. I'm going to start again. There will be ample time in the near future to start bringing on the experts on this show who actually do like Kristen Peak is at the top of my list. And I'm already working on that now, but there will be plenty of time to bring on the experts who could talk about the Warriors. Urquita's family in her chat. Bless you for the optimism, hinting that Darren Peterson is doing this so his draft value tanks and he falls to the Warriors. That's some damn wishful thinking. I love it, but I don't know if that's reality. But GHJK, any final thoughts?
I was gonna say we just saw Ace Bailey do something similar to that, where he kind of was honorary. I mean, I guess that was post draft. I mean, post his college career when he was kind of, being difficult with a lot of teams to try to control his destiny. And I just think that's all it is these young players are seeing the opportunity that they have with these NIL deals, with their ability to market themselves via social media, and they're just trying to take control of their own lives rather than have these machines do it for them, as was done in the past.
Oh, it seems like DeBonsa is like the favorite. AJ DeBonsa, like, why does he play for BYU? Does anyone have an answer for that? Like, why is he there of all schools? Like, isn't that like I know there's exceptions and so. I mean, is he morbid? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it just.
I think the owner of the Jazz is paying so that he goes to BYU, from what I understand.
Yeah, AJ DeBonsa. Oh, yeah, Urquidez family is saying they paid him $7 million to go there. So there you go. Welcome to the NIL of NCAA. So good for him. AJ DeBonsa. And I have zero information on who these other two guys are, but I'm excited. Dude, I really hope that this rebuild starts sooner than later, because if the Joe Lacob of old emerges, the guy who's willing to spend, the guy who's willing to bring in like the top talent, the guy who's applying some ingenuity in terms of hiring practices, like Bob Myers was the first of his kind in terms of a player agent who became an executive in the NBA. And you saw other teams start to follow suit after that. Do not pretend that it wasn't Joe Lacob who hired Jerry West, right? So pony up, man. Like this Mike Dunleavy Jr. thing, like, he does not inspire. Like, he does not. Like, I at the time I was trying to be optimistic about the fact that this former Warriors player who was a massive, colossal bust as a former number 3 pick, now he's our GM. Like, there were no fond memories of his time with the Golden State Warriors, and now he's calling the shots. And I don't like. I try to approach that with an open mind. I'm coming to a very clear conclusion here. He ain't it. Joe needs to get involved here, man. He needs to blow this whole thing up, and that includes the GM. I'm not getting the sense that Mike Dunleavy Jr. is one who's going to like blow your socks off with moves that impress. He looks like a guy that is he's the Brandon Pajemski of GMs is the vibe I'm getting ultimately. Anyways, I want to bring Shard all on. Are you anything else, GHJK, before I wrap up the show?
No, I mean, that's it. Thanks for the opportunity. If somebody should ask Steph what he thinks about the Pajemski minutes, I think that would be a very interesting question to ask Steph.
Ask who?
Ask Steph what he thinks about the Pajemski minutes.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting question to ask Steph, because that is something that is very controversial, obviously, for the fan base, and something somebody has to address or just be asked about it.
It would be nice if this media scene wasn't loaded with incompetency and ass kissers and sycophants who do nothing but just throw out Olay bullshit as questions to Steve Kerr.
Olay bullshit.
That's all they do. That's all they do is it's the weakest shit imaginable. And a huge part of the problem is these news organizations themselves are broke. Like the Bay Area News Group, that's the organization that owns the Mercury News and the Conch Cross the Times. They get to have a beat reporter, but they have no money. So their representative is some kid who's like covering high school sports, and then they promoted him to be the Warriors guy. Like it's just that my point is like the folks who get access, they're all so soft, and a lot of them are so young and inexperienced. And dude, Steve Kerr and the Warriors are looking at that going, perfect, chef's kiss. I can control all these guys. I can have them asking me the questions I want them to ask me. I can have them being afraid of me. It's just, dude, he's in full control of that whole room, and it's sad. It's sad. What are you going to do? GHJK75, come back soon, will you?
No problem.
All right, brother. Have a great night. Joining us from Oakland. All right, without further ado, actually, real quick, let's get Shardall. Hang tight for one more second. I want to do just a really quick mailbag here. A couple of emails.
We get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters.
We got some emails. Tracy McKendall, who's normally a regular active member of our chat, emailing tonight saying, sorry not to be on tonight. Attended a funeral this afternoon, and the ensuing reception went into the evening. Didn't watch the game. Didn't know the outcome. Didn't want to listen to the live show as a result. She writes, I hope they lost, especially with Tingus Pingus playing. That's not the email I wanted to get to, though. But thank you. Ken, a.k.a. Wordman. You were in our chat tonight, right? Well, Ken writes, hey, Cy, Wordman here. I have a few thoughts I'd like to run by you. First off, Anthony Slater is a rag journalist. You are from the Edward R. Murrow School of Journalism. I try. Balanced reporting, objectivity, and integrity. That's not today's media. 95.7 The Game is the propaganda arm of the Warriors and the Niners. I don't call them journalists. They are propagandists for the team and the network. People are for sale all the time, and they see money as the pinnacle of achievement. So they say whatever the team wants them to say, because not only do they get paid, but they have exclusive access that journalists don't. People like us, Cy, are really fans. We scour box scores, we look at advanced metrics, we study our art. Guys like Anthony Slater are part of the so-called modern day fan. They want to appear knowledgeable, but they don't know the sport. They are clubhouse cocktail club bros who like the sound of their own voices, and they think because the others in the sphere buy their prattling BS, they then bring it to us expecting knowledgeable fans to laud their idiocy. People like Anthony Slater write for them. It's TMZ journalism for TMZ fans. Now, as far as Kerr and Kuminga, it was personal. Behind the scenes, even before they draft, agents and players have discussions about expectations, roles, trajectory, and career goals. Lacob, Myers, Dunleavy, Turner, and Kuminga were all on the same page. Kerr wasn't. Steve Kerr is the Bobby Knight of this generation. Bobby Knight left Charles Barkley off the U.S. Olympic team for many of the same reasons Kerr has treated JK the way he has. His ego blinded him. JK has the thing that Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Charles Barkley, Anthony Edwards, they have the quote-unquote it. You see it, I see it. Hell, Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles sees it. Steve Kerr resents it. He hates it. Kerr hates how easy the game is for Kuminga. He wants Kuminga to kiss his ass the way Draymond does. He wants Kuminga to give him credit for his development. He wants Kuminga to bow down and kiss the ring. In slavery, we called it butt breaking. Look it up. It's a nasty, ugly concept, but appropriate here. Kuminga is a star, but the Warriors wanted him to compromise to meet their needs, and he refused. He knew his worth and wouldn't accept less. Anthony Slater floating an unnamed source claiming Aaron Turner wanted 5 years, $150 million. Aside from the fact that that was the going rate at the time, it's also a starting point for negotiations. But that is not how the Warriors framed it. Kuminga isn't scared. Every player knows he's going to be one of those. That's the comments from Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Anthony Edwards, and Stephen Curry via the latest evidence presented by Steph. a reply on Instagram, comments he made 8 months ago. In the end, Steve Kerr broke his word to Kuminga, and Kuminga told him to go F himself. When people said Taylor was his mentor, you had to know that Jimmy is the master at making you trade him, and that's what Kuminga did. I will play on my terms, how I want, and when I want, and if you don't like it, trade me. So they did. What's ironic to me, the Steve Kerr apology tour after, saying how he could have done better, how he's sorry, etc. This team is dead. This organization lost its soul when it went to the Chase Center. These aren't the Oracle Dubs. These are the white-collar corporate box bros. They are slow, white, unathletic, and boring. Even if we got the first pick in the draft, don't you think that players are going to have the same mentality as Kuminga? Alphas all do. Don't you think you will bump heads with Kerr? You bet your ass you will. What's the point? The Warriors can't tank hard enough to get a top 5 pick. Karma is a bitch. Sharia told you, and I will repeat, the Warriors are not winning shit until they do right by Kuminga. They didn't do right by him, and this is going to be the worst you can imagine. Meh, mid, mediocre. Not bad enough to get a pick, but not good enough to win. Ken, great email. Fantastic. It's a good reason why you call yourself Word Man. And on that note, we shift from the Word Man's words, great email again, to the danger zone.
Stay at home, son.
Shardol. Oh, wait. Let me bring you on. I apologize. There we go. Shardol. How you doing, bud?
You forgot to play my intro.
I just played it.
You didn't play it.
Shardol, you're going to look at the chat in just a second saying, what are you doing? I'll play it again, but I already did play it.
Stay at home, son.
And we're in the danger zone again. Shardol, how you doing?
Hi, Sai.
Hey, how's it going?
Do you want to ask me how I'm doing?
I don't know if I want to, but I just did. So, why don't you?
Hi, Sai. I'm doing great.
Good.
Thanks for asking. How are you doing on my man on this late night edition of Golden Days? You make some great content and videos on the platform. As the Golden State Warriors suffer a 121-110 loss at the hands of the Boston Celtics from Chase Center in downtown San Francisco, California, and they fought really hard and they gave all their blood, sweat, and tears, but they weren't able to get the win over an impressive Boston Celtics squad consisting of Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Neemias Queta, Derek White, Payne Pritchard.
Stay at home, son.
I'm sorry, Shardol. Blame that on Poison Clan in the chat. He said play it again. Might as well. Third time's the charm. Continue on, Shardol. I apologize.
Let me do my intro again.
We've already played it 3 times. Keep going. You were talking about, well, how was your All-Star break? We haven't heard from you in a few days. Have you been good?
My All-Star break has been good. I watched all the events, the 3-point contest, the Calcio Rising Stars, and the Slam Dunk contest. They should completely eliminate the Slam Dunk contest. It was awful this year.
It absolutely agree. Which begs the question. They're talking, which is crazy. It's exactly
because the NBA during All-Star weekend they always amp up the NBA Slam Dunk contest like it's one of the best events I know it's like flashy, right? It's high, they have a lot of air. It's supposed to be like they're supposed to show their style and how impressive they can dunk, but they should illuminate that completely.
Agreed. It's a dull contest. None of the stars want to participate in it. Chardol, have you heard about? We talked about this the last couple shows. That the potential of a one-on-one tournament. Would you watch that?
The one-on-one tournament, I think it's really entertaining to watch these WNBA stars go like to battle each other in a one-on-one to see who's better. It's very fun to watch. I mean, there's a lot of stars like Kelsey Plum was in the one-on-one game. Paige Beckers was in it.
They all were.
A lot of NBA stars, a lot of WNBA stars are in it.
And so the plan is that they want to do the same thing in the NBA next year. Wouldn't that excite you? Like, could you imagine a one-on-one game between Victor Wembanyama and Stephen Curry? I think Steph would win that, by the way. I really do.
I mean, that would be really fun to watch. I mean, it would definitely get a lot of viewers watching it, right? Like, that's what the NBA wants. They want to get all these events, so you get a lot of viewers because they want to tune into watching all of these events. So
100%.
That's what I love about it.
Let's hope that actually happens.
It's what makes this league so great.
Absolutely right. What were your thoughts about the Warriors tonight? They got their butts kicked. Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched the whole thing. I watched the game when I was working out, and then I watched a little bit after I finished working out.
What'd you do tonight? Weights?
I have a stationary bike in my garage.
So cardio for the night.
I mean, it was a tough loss for the Warriors. I mean, the Celtics are just dominant. Like, the Celtics right off the bat, they look like they were the much stronger team in this matchup.
They look like a damn good team. They look like a really good team. Like, it would not surprise me if they, especially with the reports that Jason Tatum is on the verge of coming back. I am fascinated to see what the Celtics do, but that looks like a very well coached team, and I'm not going to ignore that Bob Myers wanted to trade for Peyton Pritchard. You see why. And the Celtics side note were like, hell no. But Bob Myers tried to trade for Peyton Pritchard, and now that in hindsight, that would have been amazing if the Warriors had pulled that off. But do you want to hear a quote? By the way, I didn't get a chance to play this until
Team USA took down Team Canada for the women. They won 2-1 in overtime. I believe Megan Keller from Team USA scored the game-winning goal in overtime. And the men are playing Canada and Finland tomorrow at 7:40 in the morning.
Cool.
And then USA and Slovakia are going to be playing at 12:10 in the afternoon. So I'm going to be getting up at around 7 to watch the around 7:30. I'm going to get up in the morning to watch the Canada and Finland game. And then I'm gonna watch the USA and Slovakia game later in the day.
You love your hockey.
I love Macklin Celebrini.
But he's Team Canada. They're out.
But if Canada and Finland are playing, I'm gonna root Canada for Macklin.
Okay, all right. I see what you're saying.
And if USA and Slovakia are playing, I'm gonna pick Team USA to win. Okay. Even though Team Slovakia has a Sharks player on their roster, Pavel Regenda.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy.
You are.
I like you.
I'm a big fan of Team USA hockey.
You are. Chardol, are you ready to go through the scoreboard?
I'm ready to go over the scoreboard and
it's a long one. You up for this?
I'm ready to go over the scoreboard and wrap up the show for the night.
There was a lot of games on the docket. First night following the All-Star break, and we start in Charlotte, where the Houston. Real quick, I'll say the score. The Houston Rockets beating the Charlotte Hornets tonight in Charlotte, 105-101 the final. The Rockets improving to 34-20. Charlotte dropping to 26-30. Grant Williams. When Grant Williams is your top performer, that's not a good sign for your team. 20 points, 9 rebounds in the loss for the Hornets. Kevin Durant, 35 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks in the win for Houston. Shardal, what were your thoughts on Kevin Durant's burner and all the things you said?
Kevin Durant's burner, that was ridiculous. Kevin Durant exposed himself with creating that burner account, and he got like roasted all over social media. Like if you go over social media and look at all what he did with the burner account, he's getting roasted. Like people are actually making fun of him. What are you doing? Looking like he was he was walking in the All-Star during All-Star weekend when they were doing the introductions, and he was looking down on his phone while he was walking.
He was, which was, and again, he did not deny it when he was asked about it. It was a crazy
And the
look.
the problem I don't like about when you ask somebody why they did something, they don't admit it, and they double down on it. That's the problem in life. You know, you double down when you admitted a mistake. You don't double down on it. You accept what you made, and you learn, and you accept the mistake you make, and you don't double down on it. That's the problem with these professional athletes. They are they think like they're El Capitan. They can do whatever they want, and then nobody's going to say anything to them.
Ginji Gawk in our chat. I didn't know this. I didn't realize that hockey rinks are bigger than NHL rinks. Did you know that?
Olympic hockey. I'm a big fan of Olympic hockey, so I knew that Olympic hockey rinks are much more bigger than NHL rinks.
Much bigger or a little bigger?
Much bigger.
Interesting. Do you like that? Is that better for the game?
That makes the game more interesting when they have bigger ice rinks.
Why are NHL rinks smaller?
I don't know. Maybe they're not able to fit as many people if the rink, the size of the ring.
Good answer.
Because Olympic hockey rinks, they can fit more people in there.
That's a good call.
I think they can fit at least. I think the capacity they can fit in the Olympic hockey rink is probably like 80,000 to 90,000 people.
That's a lot of people for an indoor event. The Cleveland Cavaliers 112-84 winners tonight over the Brooklyn Nets. They improved to 35-21. The Nets dropping to 15-39. Agbaji for the Nets, 13 points in the loss. I'm not going to bother looking him up tonight. James Harden
Cyrus,
win for the Cavs, 16 points, 9 assists, and 3 steals. Yes, Trevor.
I'm going to be participating in a gold medal event tomorrow at my local dance studio. I'm gonna do 3 dances. I'll send you my video footage.
Please
and then you could show that on the show.
We'll save that
so
for
everybody can see how great of a dancer I am.
Please do send that. I think
I will send that to you, and then do you want to? And you, I would love everybody to come, all the viewers to see the videos.
Okay. This is your salsa dancing, right?
So I'm gonna be doing 3 dances for my event.
Okay.
I'm gonna be doing a waltz, a hustle, and a salsa.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to this. All right.
I bet all the viewers will be mesmerized when they see my video.
Who's your dance partner for?
It's I'm dancing with 3 female instructors.
Is this like Dancing with the Stars, where you kind of get all freaky and
so in metal ball, it's you have other people on the floor, like there's other people dancing with you, so you're not the only person there. But there's an event called Extravaganza, which is kind of like Dancing with the Stars, where you're the only person on the floor. So it's a little bit more nerve-wracking because you're all by yourself. So it's a little bit more like, I don't like that. I don't like to see a lot of people watching me. I don't like the attention. I mean, I get
we definitely need
people
to see
don't
that
like
video.
the attention.
Shardal, please send that video the moment you get it. I can't wait to watch this. This should be exciting. The Atlanta Hawks 117-107 winners tonight in Philly to improve to 27-30. The 76ers dropping to 30-25. Jalen Johnson 32 points, 10 rebounds, 3 steals in the win. Tyrese Maxey 28 points in the loss. Arguably the worst NBA game of the season in terms of the opponents. The Wizards hosting and beating the Indiana Pacers tonight, 112-105. That was not one that you'd want to watch. I'd fascinated to see what the attendance is for that one in Washington. Let's see if I can find that because I have to know. Does not show. Oh well, we'll revisit that another time. The Wizards, led by A. Gill. Who is A. Gill? A. Gill. Anthony Gill had 13 points in the win for the Wizards. If you're asking yourself, who's Anthony Gill? Charlotte, have you ever heard of Anthony Gill?
I've never heard of Anthony Gill. The problem in the NBA, I'm fed up with all these randos. Like, what of all these random players coming in the league that you have no idea about? That is something I don't get.
Well, the only reason why I'm a little riveted with Anthony Gill is he ain't no spring chicken. This is Anthony Gill right here. He's 33 years old. But it's also only his fifth year in the NBA, which makes me wonder, did he play overseas and then randomly find his way back to the NBA? Well, anyways, that's Anthony Gill.
So I looked at Anthony Gill's birthday, and I'm actually really surprised about his birthday. He was born on October 17, 1992. I was born on October 18, 1996. So his birthday is very close to mine.
There you go. How
did I not know that? Guess every day you know new things every single day. Like that's a good thing about educating people being educated. You never know that his birthday was very close to mine.
Well, and the reason why you didn't know is because who the hell knows anything about Anthony Gill? But tonight he was the top performer for the winning Wizards. 13 points, 8 rebounds. Jason Walker. Yeah, go ahead.
So if you tell people that Anthony Gill has the same birthday as me, if you tell that there's this player named Anthony Gill who has the same birthday as I do you think people would know who he is, or people would say we have no idea who that player is?
I think they just kind of say okay, and in their minds they're probably thinking,
why are they saying okay?
Yeah, because they probably don't even care enough to ask who Anthony Gill is, but in their minds,
I watched that episode from South Park, Broadway Brodown about the musical The Wicked.
Yes.
And I watched it, and that was one of the funniest clips I've ever seen in my life. I was laughing. I was laughing. And I even saw reactions, like people react to the clip, like people, like content creators react to the clip. They were laughing their balls off hearing there's in a musical they heard blowjobs in that Wicked musical, in that episode. Every little line, there's a subtext in every musical that shows that.
And incredibly, it's posed.
And you're the one who recommended that to me, because I brought up musicals last time I was on the show, and we were talking about musicals, right?
Correct.
And you mentioned that, so thanks for recommending that to me. I wouldn't have not known that if you wouldn't have brought that up. I wouldn't have known about it. So thanks a lot for letting me know that.
I'm glad you watched it.
It was very funny.
Cyrus Walker, by the way, for the Indiana Pacers, 19 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists in the loss for Indiana. A great game earlier tonight. Again, coming right out of the All-Star break. Detroit traveling to Madison Square Garden to take on the New York Knicks, and they were victorious 126-111 in a possible Eastern Conference Finals preview. Cade Cunningham, 42 points, 8 rebounds, 13 assists in the win. Jalen Brunson, 33 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists in the loss. Detroit improving to 41-13. The Knicks dropping to 35-21. That was a dandy. The Toronto Raptors.
So Stephen Curry is still out with runner's knee, and that's a very serious injury. And I was like, all Warrior fans were really expecting that they would see Kristaps Porziņģis and Steph Curry return to play the Celtics right after. But he's still out with that runner's knee, so he might not play a day after his birthday in Madison MSG when they play the Knicks.
I think he'll be back.
A day after his birthday, he might not play.
I think he'll be back for that.
But it'll be very heartbreaking if he doesn't play on his birthday to be in front of his family. His family would be very heartbroken and they would ask, "Where's Steph? Why is Steph not playing?" Aisha Curry would ask, "Where's Steph?" Sonny Curry would ask, "Where's Steph?" his daughters would ask, "Where's my dad?
No,
Why is my dad
they
not
wouldn't.
playing?" And they would bawl out crying because they really want their papa.
They know what where their pop is. The Raptors 110-101 winners tonight. Brandon Ingram, now an all-star, 31 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists in the win. The Chicago Bulls fall into 24 and 32. Trey Jones, 12 points, 6 assists. Is that Trey? Is that his last name? Hold on, let me just confirm that real fast.
Trey Jones.
It is Trey Jones?
It's Trey Jones. But my cat is like a baby, and my cat, when I'm not there, when I'm his papa, I'm his dad. When I'm not there, he needs me, so he meows a lot. So he needs me, so
of course
that shows I'm a great cat dad.
Yes, agreed. Buster Posey loves you, no question. No questions. The San Antonio Spurs. This is a game that helped the Warriors because they defeated the 7-seeded Phoenix Suns tonight in San Antonio, 121-94. The final, the Spurs improving to 39-16. The Suns dropping to 32-24. Victor Wembanyama, 17 points, 11 rebounds, 5 blocks in the win. Jalen Green, who's back, 26 points, 3 steals in the loss for the Suns. 2 more games, Chardal. We're almost there. Chardal, it's been a long time since they've lit the beam in Sacramento, huh?
And they're not gonna light the beam anytime soon. I bet they're gonna burn the beam every single time they play. The beam will be burned.
Hold on a second. When's the last time? And I bring this up because the Sacramento Kings have now lost.
The Sacramento Kings have set a franchise record by losing their 15th consecutive game, a 131-94 defeat to the Magic. And this losing streak surpasses the previous record of 14 held by the 1959 and 1960 and 1971 to 1972 Cincinnati Royals. The team hasn't won since January 16, 2026, marking a historic slump, and the Kings are aiming for a high lottery pick after a disastrous season with a focus on future development.
You're like a real life Chat GPT, Chardal. Impressive. And so the January 16th, that win was at home. That was the last time they lit the beam in Sacramento. It's been over a month since that thing's. That is comedy, unless you're
Doug Christie. Yeah. Doug Christie said that this loss was the biggest disappointment. And he said our team is an absolute shit show, an absolute clown show.
Well, you're talking about the game he's referencing was tonight's loss at home.
He said at home.
Orlando Magic. Hold on. 131-94 the final. Paolo Banchero, 30.6 assists in the win. Maxime Reynaud, 17 points, 14 rebounds in the loss. The Kings dropping to 12-45, mired in a 15.
The Sacramento Kings are one of the worst teams in the NBA right now. They're a record of 12-45, and they've lost 15 straight in a row, and they're gonna lose every single game of the season.
You know what's really depressing?
They're gonna end the record with the record of 12-70.
Do you know what the really depressing part is?
What is the real depressing thing?
On top of everything else that you just said.
Educate me, please.
It gets even worse.
You
know what's gonna happen? Here's my let me see if there's like a good sound effect for this.
Why are you saying I'm a real life ChatGPT?
Do you remember? You're
not
not open for this, but have you heard of Johnny Carson?
I've heard of Johnny Carson, Jay Leno, the previous host of the Tonight Show. Correct. And now the Tonight Show is hosted by Jimmy Fallon.
Correct. So Johnny Carson was Jay Leno's predecessor, had the job for 30 years, was called the King of Late Night. He had this segment where he put on this funky hat and he called himself Carmack, and he opened this envelope, and the envelope would give him predictions for the future, and it was a comedy bit. So here's my Carmack moment, and I was hoping I could find a good sound effect or something.
Why are you referring me to the real life ChatGPT?
Because you keep spitting facts. That's
should I be an analyst for the Sacramento Kings?
I didn't say it like it's a bad thing. I'm
saying should I be an analyst for the Kings? You know, talk about the Kings after pre-game and post-game analysis.
If you can convince them to pay you for that, yes, 100%.
Do you think I'll make a lot of money doing that? Doing pre-game and post-game?
Depends on who's who's paying you. That would be an important part of the equation.
I'll make a lot of money doing that.
No, that's not. I'm trying to find good Carmack music. That's good. Okay, here's my Carmack prediction. I'll even put it. I'll put the hoodie up since I don't have a hat. My Carmack prediction for the Sacramento Kings. You know what's going to happen to them, Sherdall?
What's going to happen? What's going to happen to them?
So they're currently mired in a 15-game losing streak, right?
Yeah, they are.
Worst in franchise history, right?
Understood.
And here's what's going to happen.
What's going to happen?
I got the message. The Sacramento Kings are going to get the number 1 pick in the draft. And they're going to draft Darren Peterson. And Darren Peterson will be the next Markelle Fultz. And the Sacramento Kings' first pick will result in as much success as Marvin Bagley III. Your thoughts?
I agree with everything. I agree with everything that you just said. You're a fortune teller. You can predict the future. You can predict the future.
The Kings they're too easy to pick on. By the way, the Magic improved to 29-25. One last game that happened tonight, and this one did not help the Golden State Warriors. The LA Clippers, 115-114 winners over the Denver Nuggets. The Clippers improving to 27-28. Now just a game back of the Warriors in the loss column. The Denver Nuggets dropping to 35-21. Denver, by the way, the Warriors' next opponent. They're in town on Sunday. Nikola Jokic, 22 points, 17 boards, 6 assists in the loss. Benedict Mathurin, hell of a pickup for the Clippers. Chardall, he had 38 points and 3 steals for the Clip Show tonight. For the folks who thought they were going to tank, you thought wrong. Because not only is Benedict Mathurin contributing, I'm going to look it up and see if Darius Garland played. Darius Garland did not play, but yeah, the Clippers beat the Nuggets. That's impressive. And that is not good news for the Warriors if you're rooting for them to
So let me ask you something. So the 4 events in NBA All-Star Weekend,
yeah,
the 3-point contest, how would you rate it? A scale of 1 to 10. How do you rate the dunk?
Asking, how did the Clippers get Benedict Mathurin? It was part of the trade that sent Zubac to them, and it was part of the deal that also sent back a weirdly 1 through 4 and 10 plus protected pick. Meaning, if the Pacers' first round pick next year falls between 5 and 9, the Clippers get it. If it's 1 through 4 or 10 plus, the Pacers keep it, and the pick rolls over to 2031. And again, it was part of the trade that included sending Zubac to the Indiana Pacers. So Benedict Mathurin is now a Clipper. I forgot all about that, and he had 38 points in a win over the Nuggets tonight. I'm sorry, Shardall, go ahead.
So the 2027 NBA All-Star Weekend will be taking place in Phoenix, Arizona. And Steph Curry will be participating in the 2027 3-point contest. He'll be joined by Damian Lillard, who's a 3-time champ, and Klay Thompson.
This is for next year, right?
For next year, 2027 in Phoenix.
Julian Bashir thinks I'm overthinking the Darren Peterson load management, and maybe I am, but that's why we have history, right? So we avoid making mistakes.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on
What's
What
up?
are your thoughts on Damian Lillard winning his 3rd straight 3-point contest title?
I love Dame. He's a pride of Oakland. And I love how loyal he is to Portland, and I think he's a good dude, man. That is what I think. So I'm happy for him.
So if I had Damian Lillard's like his nickname is Dame Time. Whenever he puts on clock and says it's Dame Time, what would be a name for me? You know, like I can't steal his. I would get in trouble because Dame Time is already patented to Lillard, so I can't steal his name. What would the name be for me?
Danger Zone.
No, like something flashy, like it's Dame time. You know, something like Dame Lillard.
Something that has your name in it, like a part of your name in it. Like it's Sharaza time.
What about it's SG time?
Sure. If I think of something, I'll throw it in there. But do you like what money? Wait, that's it. No, I was gonna money check up. That might have a racial connotation to it. I'm gonna avoid that one. Yeah, well, I'll think about it. I'll get back to you, Shardon.
So what were your thoughts on the performance by the Warriors today?
I mean, the fact that they didn't give up late in the game was nice to see, but they got their asses kicked. I mean, let's not miss. Look, I was more impressed with the Celtics, honestly. Like Boston, that's a Lambo engine right there. That shit's humming. It's got massive power when you need it. Like that is just a well-tuned machine, man. Reminded me a lot of the Warriors, like back when they were good.
So the Warriors are playing the Celtics on the 18th, 4 days after Steph's birthday, and that game is in Boston.
Ooh, okay.
And that game will be very special for me because I actually went to Boston with my mother. We actually went on a trip. It was a tour. We went to Boston. We went right by the TD Garden. We didn't actually go inside the garden, but we drove right by it, which was a wonderful sight. I love Boston. I love the history. And I have a Paul Pierce jersey. My mother we went to the Celtics team store in Boston. She bought me a Paul Pierce jersey, number 34.
How many years ago was this?
Long time ago. Don't remember.
Like a mother-son trip?
No, it was a group. You go on a group to you go on a group with a tour we went it was a trip and you went there. And whenever I think of the Boston Celtics, I think of the Shipping Off to Boston song, Dropkick Murphys.
Yes.
That's a song that's synonymous with Boston tradition. The Celtics, the Bruins. That's synonymous with the city. Yeah. It's a catchy song. Have you listened to it? It's called Shipping Off to Boston.
I know that. I'm very familiar. Yes.
Have you listened? But does it when you listen to that song? Does it evoke?
The movie The Departed, it's featured largely in that film. It's a great song. Yeah.
No, does it evoke Boston feelings of going to Boston?
100%, yes.
When you listen to that song?
Yes.
And they use it, and they use it for the They also use it when the Celtics played with Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. They played that in the intro. You know when the games when Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen were playing. They use that song that went then.
100% agreed. Shardal, are we going to see you on Sunday?
For the Nuggets and the Warriors?
It's in the daytime, man. Like, we're going to be live. First of all, we have a show tomorrow, but with Armando, sometimes we're up against the clock, and I can't promise we have time to bring anyone else on. Yeah.
So I'll see you on... I'll see you tomorrow for a Friday happy hour with Professor Armando Lara.
Yes.
And I'll also be joining you for the Warriors and Nuggets post-game show.
You'll be closing for us. Okay, good. I just want to make sure the closer is in-house. So we'll see you Sunday. We're back tomorrow. Again, Armando Lara joins me every Friday for happy hour. It should be a fun time. And then Sunday, Warriors Nuggets live post game.
So
that's the calendar. That's the schedule. Yes, Charles, take us away.
The Warriors versus Nuggets game. Is it gonna on Sunday? Is it gonna kind of remind you of the home opener? Wasn't the home opener against the same team? Against the Nuggets?
No, it was against the Lakers were the home opener, but the second game was the Nuggets, and it was such a different team. That was back when Kuminga was starting with Draymond and Jimmy. Yeah.
No, the Lakers versus Warriors game was the Lakers home opener. The Warriors and Nuggets was the season opener when I went with my dad.
Are you sure it's not reversed?
No, because it was a hat. The giveaway was a Warriors hat. Okay. For the Nuggets and Warriors home opener. I went with my dad. I would not forget. My dad took me. Why would I forget?
I don't know.
I'll be foolish. My dad would think I'm the biggest idiot in the world that you don't remember that I went with him. He bought me a Jimmy Butler jersey at the Warriors team store. And I still have it to this day. I wear it.
See you Sunday, but Shardal, the season opener for the Warriors was the Lakers.
No, but that was, but that was the Lakers season opener. The Warriors, the actual Warriors home opener was against the Nuggets.
Are you asking season opener or home opener?
Home opener.
Oh yeah, the home opener was the Nuggets.
Was a Nuggets. So the Warriors are gonna play the Nuggets on Sunday. It's basically it'll basically reminisce of you going to the me going with my dad to the Warriors and Nuggets home opener in Chase Center.
Money checkup. I love you, brother. I love you. He's shown us so much love, man. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Shardal, say goodbye to everyone, man. It's time to get out of here.
So viewers, make sure to subscribe to Golden Days in reference to the
SGA and subscribe to your channel. Promote your channel, man.
In the 1993 Matthew McConaughey movie, he's at 5,190 subscribers. He's 810 subs away from 600. Make sure to subscribe to the SGA Sports Talk channel. I'm at 523 subscribers. I'm on the road to 600. So make sure to show me some love. If you like the Warriors, if you like the Sharks, if you like the 49ers, and you like the Giants, I make some fire content, so have your viewers go over there and subscribe to my channel, because I would love that appreciation from all the loyal fans of this show.
Do you like the tickers up there? My studio has.
I like that the tickers up there.
You like it better up there, or do you like it better at the bottom?
I like it up there.
So not down there.
Not down there, up there.
All right. Well, I'll make that a permanent change.
So the final score: the Celtics 121, the Warriors 110. I'll definitely join you on Friday for Happy Hour with Armando Lara.
Beautiful.
And I'll join you on Sunday for Warriors and Nuggets. Have a great show, Sai. See you on Friday. See you on Sunday. See you later.